Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal. People are going to save a lot of money and be healthy. So we're here this evening to celebrate the launch of one of the most transformative healthcare.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal. People are going to save a lot of money and be healthy. So we're here this evening to celebrate the launch of one of the most transformative healthcare initiatives of all time. There's never been anything like it. Starting tonight, dozens of the most commonly used prescription drugs will be available at dramatic discounts for all consumers throughout a new website. It's called TrumpRX.gov. That's TrumpRX.gov. For years, politicians from both parties have promised to bring down prescription drug prices and make healthcare more affordable, but they all failed. It was all words as usual. They failed, and they failed badly. They tried doing this, some of them, most of them didn't even try because they never really had a shot at it. But I'm actually getting it done, and it is done, actually. This launch represents the
Ladies
All right, let's make sure we heard. Let's make sure we heard. Make sure we heard real quick, like. All right, cool. Audio is ready to roll. Audio is ready to roll. Here we go.
and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
That walk, though.
Thank you very much.
That walk.
Thank you. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal. People are going to save a lot of money and be healthy. So we're here this evening to celebrate the launch of one of the most transformative healthcare initiatives of all time. There's never been anything like it. Starting tonight, dozens of the most commonly used prescription drugs will be available at dramatic discounts for all consumers throughout a new website. It's called TrumpRX.gov. That's TrumpRX.gov. For years, politicians from both parties have promised to bring down prescription drug prices and make healthcare more affordable, but they all failed. It was all words as usual. They failed, and they failed badly. They tried doing this, some of them, most of them didn't even try because they never really had a shot at it. But
Are you researching dental implants?
There's a lot of dental offices that'll
Bro, I
talk
ain't gonna lie
about
to y'all,
doing
bro.
their teeth in the
Sometimes
day process. A lot of times what they mean
I ain't gonna lie
is
to y'all,
they'll
bro.
I'm
Sometimes,
actually
hold on real quick. Sometimes I don't understand why Donald Trump just can't get to the point. I don't understand why he can't just talk about what it is that he's planning on doing. what he's trying to do, what he wants to do, what he plans to do. Why do he always got to take shots? He always taking shots. It's like he's drama prone. I don't understand. It's just like he just always gotta say some bullshit about somebody or somebody else. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. Bro, just do the fucking job, bro. Like, why you always gotta bring somebody down to try to bring yourself up? I don't understand that about Donald Trump, man. It gets on my nerves, bro. Like, just talk about what the hell you gonna do and just stand on business, dog. You ain't gotta always take shots at folks, bro. That shit right there is so classless, bro. That's one of the things I don't like about Donald Trump. He's so classless, bro. He ain't got no class, none, no filter, no class. And some of the people that support him, right? And they know some of the shit he say is fucked up, right? They know it. But he just really don't, he speaks his mind, and he's being himself, blah blah blah. No, bruh. No, just like have some decorum. Talk about what you gonna do, what your plans are, and get it done. Like, why you always gotta take shots, bro? I just don't understand. I don't understand.
There's never been anything like it. Starting tonight, dozens of the most commonly used prescription drugs will be available at dramatic discounts for all consumers throughout a new website. It's called TrumpRX.gov. That's TrumpRX.gov. For years, politicians from both parties have promised to bring down prescription drug prices and make healthcare more affordable, but they all failed. It was all words.
But they all failed. They all failed. Politicians this, politicians this. Both parties tried to talk about they're going to bring down prescription drugs, but they all failed. They all failed.
As usual, they failed, and they failed badly. They tried.
They failed and they failed. They failed badly. Like, bro, just talk about what you doing, bro.
Doing this, some of them, most of them didn't even try because they never really had a shot at it. But
they didn't even try. Well, they never really had a shot at it. Like, bro, just like this dude right here is the ultimate zombie, y'all. Real talk. He is the ultimate zombie, bro. Real talk.
Actually getting it done, and it is done, actually. This launch represents the largest reduction in prescription drug prices in history by many, many times, and it's not even close. You're going to see numbers that you're not going to believe. Americans have long been paying the highest drug prices anywhere in the world, while other countries often paid pennies on the dollar for the exact same drugs. We were essentially subsidizing the entire world, and subsidizing by hundreds of billions of dollars every year. The United States is just 4% of the world's population and consumes only 13% of all prescription drugs, yet pharmaceutical companies have been making 75% from these drugs. Think of it, 75% of the money they made came from the United States, with a smaller population than what we will call the world. The American people...
Hold up, let me go back. Donald, what? I don't know, my man. It don't sound like your numbers. I don't know, bro. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit, Donald. You got me on that one, my boy. What you say?
I believe Americans have long been paying the highest drug prices anywhere in the world, while other countries often paid pennies on the dollar for the exact same drugs. We were essentially subsidizing the entire world, and subsidizing by hundreds of billions of dollars every year. The United States is just 4% of the world's population and consumes only 13% of all prescription drugs, yet pharmaceutical companies have been making 75% from these drugs. Think of it, 75% of the money they made came from the United States, with a smaller population than what we will call the world. The American people were effectively
Yo, I don't know. The math ain't math on that with my boy. I don't know about that, Donald Trump, bro. You got to provide me some sources or something, dog. You just can't be spewing out numbers like that. Like, you just can't be throwing out numbers like that, DJT. Donald J. Trump. You gotta give us some sources on where you getting these numbers from, bro.
Subsidizing the cost of drugs for the entire world, and it's not going to happen any longer. We ended it. Everybody knew it was unfair for 30 years, but nobody did anything about it. Under the most favored nation agreements my administration has negotiated, the United States will pay the lowest price paid by any other country. So we're taking the lowest price paid for drugs. We will pay equal to whatever the lowest price anywhere in the world. That's the price that you're going to be paying. It's a tremendous reduction. Drug prices in other nations will go up by doing this. They had to agree, and the reason they agreed is I used tariffs. I said, if you don't put them up, then we're going to put tariffs on your nation, which will be more expensive to you.
Hold up. So other countries' prescription drug prices are gonna go up, right? Our prescription drug prices are gonna go down, but other country, he didn't name the countries, but he said other countries' prescription drug prices are gonna go up, and he know they're gonna go up. Why? Because I'm gonna put tariffs on them, and I'm gonna put tariffs on them if their prices don't go up. I'm gonna put tariffs on. Yo, that sounds like some bullying, bro. Come on, DJT. Come on, man. Y'all heard what I heard, bro? Come on, bro. President Trump be having a lot of word salad sometimes. Real talk.
The United States will pay the lowest price paid by any other country. So we're taking the lowest price paid for drugs. We will pay equal to whatever the lowest price anywhere in the world. That's the price that you're going to be paying. It's a tremendous reduction. Drug prices in other nations will go up by doing this. They had to agree, and the reason they agreed is I used tariffs. I said, if you don't put them up, then we're going to put tariffs on your nation, which will be more.
Well, he love them goddamn tariffs, don't he, chat? Yo, he love them tariffs. Oh, if they don't agree, we gonna put tariffs. We gonna get tariffs. Yo, I don't even think Donald Trump understand what tariffs is. I just think he just loves saying that shit. Just look, tariffs. We're gonna put tariffs. We're gonna put tariffs, chat.
Expensive to you. So in many cases, the drug costs will go up by double and even triple for them, but they're going way down for the United States, come all the way down by a difference of as much as 300, 400, 500, even 600%, even more than that in some cases.
Yo, that sounds like some grifting online. That sounds like some grifting online course selling ass bullshit. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, chat. That sounds like some grifting online courses, spiritual coachings, real estate guru bullshit, bro. 300, 400, 500, 600%. That sounds like some, I'm bringing the prices down from $2,997 to $197, bro. Real talk, bro. It sounds like some scam. It sounds like some scam. Let's just call it what it is, chat. Come on now. That sounds like some scams, my man.
For example, you will see dramatic reductions in the cost of popular weight loss drugs known as GLP-1s. GLP-1s. Novo Nordisk will be slashing the price, as an example, of Ozempic from more than $1,000 to $199.
Yo, Trump should have gave this some more time. I don't think he was ready to launch this. I ain't gonna. Didn't they just put this out in like September or some shit like that? September 2025. They just brought this idea to the forefront. They should have gave this a little bit more time. This kind of feels rushed a little bit. I don't know. Y'all let me know. It's almost rushed. It's like he's just don't really know what's going on. Like he's really, and they say Trump don't read anything from those teleprompters. He's reading something. He is reading something right now. He's reading something. He's not reading it right.
And the price of Wegovy from more than $1,300 to.
Should these auto-transforming glasses be made illegal in the US? All glasses have this tiny flaw, but we fixed it.
$199. Nobody can even believe it. A 578% difference from more than $1,000 to $199. And the price of Wegovy from more than $1,300 to $199. Nobody can even
Wait,
believe it.
how did he say that drug? Hold on. Did he say that drug right? What did he say? How did he pronounce that drug? Hold on.
And the price of Wegovy from more than
Is it Wegovy? Did he say it right? Let me see if he said it right real quick. Wegovy? Is that the drug? Oh, let me see real quick. Let me go to that. I'm on the website. Let me go to that website real quick because y'all know I'm checking out the website. I don't know about y'all, but I've been checking out the website trying to see what's going on with this website. He got Wegovy. Okay, he said Wegovy. Yeah, he said it right. Wegovy original price 78 to 90 89% off. Wegovy pill. This is an out-of-pocket price. If you have insurance, check your copay first. It may be even lower. Select your strength to see your savings. Wegovy, original price. That's what I'm saying, man. It looked like some damn online course prices. And I'm just talking shit. $13.49. You're saving $1,200. You're gonna be paying $149 a month. $149 a month, Chad. That's how much you're gonna be paying. $149 a month. A month. A month. You don't believe me? Read the fine prints. Read the fine prints. Anyways, we're gonna get back to what he was saying.
$1,300 to $199. Nobody can even believe it. A 578% difference. Eli Lilly, who's been very
And that ain't right. That ain't right, Mr. President. That is not right. It's $149. He got the numbers wrong. I don't know if he can't see what he's reading or what, but he got the numbers wrong. It's actually hold on, let me see if I can flip this real quick. Let me flip this so y'all can see this, because I don't think y'all can see this real quick. Reverse the views. Let me go here. Can y'all see this? No, y'all can't. I don't think y'all can see this. Reverse the views real quick. Let me know if y'all can see this price. Y'all let me know if y'all can see this price. Boom! Hold on. I'm trying to look at the screen, man. Damn, y'all can't see the prices? Damn, bro, they can't see the prices? This website trash, bro. You can't even slide nothing over. They got to do some construction to this website, bro. This thing is trash.
from more than $1,300 to $199. Nobody can even believe it.
So he got the prices wrong on Wegovy. He didn't read that right. He got the prices wrong on that. The original price is not 1,300, it's 1,350, and the price for the monthly price for that drug is $149. He said 199. So he got to get his numbers right.
A 578% difference. Eli Lilly, who's been very helpful.
$578 difference. Yeah, they set him up for failure, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know who wrote this. I don't know who wrote whatever he's reading, but they set him up for failure. They did not put the right prices. Those prices do not match the website.
To us in getting this done. We'll be cutting the cost of its common insulin, drug, and medication from $200 to $25. Nobody can believe it. $200 to $25. AstraZeneca is slashing the price. Helpful to us in getting this done. We'll be cutting the cost of its common insulin, drug, and medication from $200 to $25. Nobody can believe it. $200 to $25. AstraZeneca.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on real quick. Let's see if that's real. Let's see if that's real. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if that's real. He said common insulin. I wonder if that's actually on there, though. I don't know if that's actually on the website. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Damn, they got Ozempic on this motherfucker, boy. Y'all finna be losing weight like a boy. Y'all finna be skinny as hell if y'all get on here. What's the name for the common insulin though? What's the name of it? What's the medical name for it? He didn't give the medical name. He just said common insulin. Yo, anybody in the chat? Y'all know the name for this insulin he talking about? Any money saved today helps. And you did the pill, they are cheaper than the shots. Yo, which one of these he talking about, y'all? Oh, that's it right here. I found it right here. The insulin list, bro. Let's see if so he got that right. Let me see if he got that right. Hold on, y'all see it? It say right here, insulin list, bro. Up to 65% off. $25. Okay. Okay. $25. Y'all can't see it, but he was right about this one. So y'all can get some insulin by using insulin injection. If you need an insulin prescription right here, $25. Up to 65% off. If you have insurance, check your copay first. It may be lower. Select your quantity to see. Okay then. Alright, alright, alright. It's a lot of fine print right here though. Card eligibility. You have been prescribed insulin Lispro injection consistent with FDA approved product labeling. You are not enrolled in any state, federal, or government funded healthcare program, including without limitation Medicaid, Medicare, Part D, Medicare Advantage, Medigap, DOD, VA, TRICARE. Damn, if you got any of these healthcare programs, dog, you cannot buy from Trump website. You cannot buy from TrumpRX. If you are enrolled in Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, Champus, DOD, VA, Medigap, any of those programs, my boy, you cannot buy from this right here. Or any state prescription drug assistance program. You are a resident of the United States or the United States territory, blah, 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 blah. You are 18 years of age or older. You can buy from the website. Anyways, all right, let's get back to what he was talking about. He was right about that.
Zeneca is slashing the price of a common inhaler from 400 and
Hold up, the chat. What y'all talking about in the chat, man? Uh, he's also saying $2 gas as I'm paying $3.20. Okay. Trump did this. No dare Democrat president even try. What, bro? Go back and go back and try again, my boy. Type right. Make sure y'all typing good in the chat. It's like having a sale based on normal prices. Last time he talked drug prices, he promised to lower them by up to 1,500%. He's such a lying clown, blah, 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 blah. So you have to drop your health care to get those prices. You cannot have government assistant programs. You can't be a part of any government assistant program in order to purchase on Trump RX. You can't do it. Can't do it. $3 gas in Vegas now, baby. I guess that's good for Vegas, right? What's the original prices there? Cool. Trump is going with his insane lies. All right. Go to Good RX to get a deep discount. Trump is getting the medicine from Mexico. I know. Yo.
$58 to $51, a difference of nearly 800%. And we're also delivering historic discounts for couples struggling with infertility, as EMD Serrano will dramatically cut the cost of its most common IVF drugs. For example, a single dose of the most common IVF drug in the country, Gonal F, will plummet from the highest price in the developed world that we paid. The United States was subsidizing everybody. We paid the highest to the lowest price in the world, which will be demonstrating very shortly. We have some very talented people coming up and showing you how it's going to work and how the website works. All of these discounts and more will be available directly to consumers.
Wait. What's the name of that drug? Hold on. I can't let him skip over that drug. Let's go back. What's the name of that drug he just said? Let me see if I can find it. He said it's for couples struggling with infertility. It started with a G, I believe. What he said? Hold on. Let me see if we can find it real quick. He didn't give a price on it though. VFin? No, that might be an insulin. What he said? Was it this one? Was it the genotropin? Was it the genotropin? I don't know if it was the genotropin or not. Let me go back and see. I don't want to look. No, I'm good on that. I don't know if I want to go back and see it. Hold on.
States was subsidizing everybody. We paid the highest to the lowest price in the world, which will be from the highest price of drugs. For example, a single dose of the most common IVF drug in the country, Gonal F, will plummet from the highest price in the.
He said Gono F. Gono F. Gono F. Let's see if he. Okay, there it is. Gono F. Okay, Gono F. I see it right here. Y'all see it, chat? Gono F. All right, Trump. Mr. Trump. Okay, Gono F. All right. It's a polytropin alpha from EMD Sereno. 83% off. The actual product appearance may vary. Saving at glance. This is an out-of-pocket price. But what's the price? Okay, here it is right here. The price is $168 off top. That's how much it is for that Gono F. This is an out-of-pocket price. If you have insurance, check your copay first. Let's see what the fine print. He got to have some fine print somewhere on that. That was the fine print. Oh, here it is. What is Gono F? Gono F is a prescription medicine containing follicle-stimulating hormones. It is used in infertile women to help healthy ovaries develop, mature, and release an egg to help you get pregnant. Cause your ovaries to make more than one eggs as part of assisted reproductive technology. All right. Infertile men, so men can use this too. Infertile men helps develop and produce mature sperm. All right. All right. Anyway, let's get back.
The developed world that we paid, the United States was subsidizing everybody. We paid the highest to the lowest price in the world, which will be demonstrating very shortly. We have some very talented people coming up and showing you how it's going to work and how the website works. All of these discounts and more will be available directly to consumers starting today at TrumpRX.gov. In just a moment, we will demonstrate how you can go to the website, get a coupon, and pick up your heavily discounted prescription drugs, highest level drugs, the highest level company, finest in the world, biggest in the world, most powerful drug companies in the world. And we had to go through them, and then we had to get all of these countries worldwide to lower their prices and for us, and help us lower our price. And what they did is, again, their prices went up by double, triple, and even sometimes 4 and 5 times. But the dozens of commonly used drugs available today are just the beginning. 16 of the 17 largest pharmaceutical companies have signed agreements, and the other one is coming. Believe me, they're coming, committing that going forward, all new medicines they bring to the market in the United States will be available at most favored nation prices. For those that don't know, that means in the entire world, most favored, we get the most favored, the lowest price. So if somebody gets a great price, that's great for us because we get it. So this is the exact opposite of what's been happening for the last 30-plus years. This policy, which is a key pillar of the great health care plan, is going to bring copays plummeting down and save Americans billions and billions of dollars, making healthcare much more affordable, like at a level that you couldn't believe. In my first administration, I kept drugs.
Hold on.
This policy, which is a key pillar of the most favored, the lowest price. So if somebody gets a great price, that's great for us because we get it. So this is the exact opposite of what's been happening for the last 30-plus years. This policy, which is a key pillar of the great health care plan, is going to bring copays plummeting down and save Americans billions and billions of dollars, making health care much more affordable, like at a level that you couldn't believe. In my first administration, I kept drugs pretty even. I thought I was doing a great job, but this is really the great job. There's never been anything like it. Nobody thought it was possible to get it done. It's the biggest thing to happen in healthcare, I think, in many, many decades. Under these agreements, the top pharmaceutical
Yo, President Trump, I like your confidence. I like your confidence, my man. But how do you know? Like, how do you know? How do you know it's the biggest deal that's ever happened? How do you know these things? I like your confidence though, but we don't know yet. We don't know how well this is gonna fare out. We don't know. We don't know. This is only time will tell. Pump your brakes, President. Pump your brakes. Let it pan out first.
companies will also be investing hundreds of billions of dollars to bring drug manufacturing back to America. It's already happening. They're building plants all over the country. Eli Lilly is building 6 plants with billions and billions of dollars each, which means jobs, economic growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. And it's really a big factor was the tariffs. We're charging very substantial tariffs for companies that don't want to make their drugs or pharmaceuticals and automobiles and other things. If they don't want to make them in the United States, they have to pay very big penalties in the form of tariffs. And what that means is they're all coming here. Every industry is coming here. We're taking in more than $18 trillion into the United States because of tariffs. The companies, the only way they can avoid them is to build here. They avoid paying the tariff. Now, they've been doing that, countries, to us for 30 years. That's how we lost so much business. They were drying up our
Maybe you've seen the headline. What if I told you that by becoming a founding donor to the DNC Action Fund, you could help solve...
Hold on, y'all. Hold on real quick. What's going on in the chat, man? What y'all talking about in the chat? Oh, my God. Don the liar, sleazeball Trump, love Trump. He the best. Big Greek, have you seen American cities? Bunch of zombies walking on dirty, messed up roads. TDS is strong here. What's up with his wig today? Y'all get off his wig, man. Y'all get off his wig. Y'all chill out, man. Oh my God. Y'all chill out, man. He lying. Prices can't be reduced more than 100%. Drug prices down 200 or 500 or 1500, 1800. Blah, 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 blah. Lies, lies, lies. Save America. Man, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Y'all hit that like button on your way in, man. Show some love for the host, man. I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying? Show some love for the host, man.
country. We were losing factories, we were losing jobs like nobody's ever seen for many, many years. And now it's all been reversed, and we've never had a period. This is the wealthiest our country has ever been. We have hundreds of billions of dollars a year pouring in, and we're taking advantage of it. I want to give a special thanks to Airbnb co-founder and now, much more importantly, the Chief Design Officer of the United States, Joe Gebbia, and the entire team at the National Design Studio. They're unbelievably talented people. This group of genius.
Yo, y'all gotta admit, man. I mean, bro, I don't care if you like Donald Trump, you hate Donald Trump, bro. But the way he be fucking talking sometimes, bro, that shit be funny as hell, though. Like, his demeanor, the facial expression, the lip movements, you know, good, oh, God. Yeah, you know. That shit is funny as hell, bro. I swear it is.
Years, and now it's all been reversed, and we've never had a period. This is the wealthiest our country has ever been. We have hundreds of billions of dollars a year pouring in, and we're taking advantage of it. I want to give a special thanks to Airbnb co-founder and now, much more importantly, the Chief Design Officer of the United States, Joe Gebbia, and the entire team at the National Design Studio. They're unbelievably talented people. This group of geniuses could be doing anything right now. They could have been making a big fortune out there, but they decided they want to be.
It's the emphasis he put on work. Joe Gebbia, bringing in billions and billions of dollars, billions. The body movement, man, that shit is funny. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can hate him, y'all can love him. This guy is hilarious.
With the government and do exactly what you're going to see tonight, and also some other things having to do with our country. And I want to thank Joe. With their help, our American by Design initiative will fully transform our most dated federal systems and services, providing Americans the richest, most beautiful, and most user-friendly government experience in the entire world. We have the greatest designers in the entire world, and they're with our country. They love our country. That's why they're doing it. So now I'd like to invite Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, an incredible guy, a really brilliant man, Dr. Mehmet Oz, to show us how this beautiful new website works. And Dr. Oz, come on and let's see what you can tell us. Thank you, by the way, everybody. You're going to save a fortune, and this is also so good for overall health care. And Oz, you've done a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So you demanded, President demanded, that we have most favored nation drug pricing, which he explained beautifully. Today, you can now get access to these discounted, steeply discounted prices. All the hard work the president and the administration have done now is yours, but you have to go check TrumpRX.gov. So if you have access, please log on right now. It's free. You get to look at all the prices, and you should not be buying drugs anymore going forward without at least checking to see if those medications are available at these discounted prices on TrumpRX.gov. That stated, Mr. President, many people don't appreciate this, but one of the most special things you've been able to do, besides negotiating these kinds of deals, is bringing wonderful people around you who can actually fulfill the dream of making drugs accessible so Americans no longer suffer that affordability issue. 1 in 3 Americans are turned away from the drugstore. They can't afford the drugs. No more. Our most vulnerable are protected. To do that, you need brilliant software engineers. And Ed Korstein led a wonderful group that you hired. Folks, again, would never normally have come into government.
Wait, so have anybody in the chat ever bought Ozempic? Have anybody in the chat ever bought Ozempic? Y'all let me know if y'all ever bought Ozempic in the chat. Y'all let me know. Really, reality show doctor, and only an idiot would say that Trump is smart. Have anybody in the chat ever purchased Ozempic? Because look at it. Look at the prices right here. Hold on. This Ozempic. Let me see if I want to look at the pen or just the. Is it? Do they only have the pen on the website? I don't even know how many drugs they have on the website. Like the website don't even tell you how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22, 25, 28, 31, 34. Yeah, they got about 50 drugs on here. 50 something drugs, something like that. Ozempic pen. Y'all trying to lose some weight, bro? 66 to 81% off the Ozempic pen, right there. The original price is $1,027. That's how much y'all paying for that for real? You bought yours yesterday, Big Reek? Stop playing. You bought yours? Didn't he just post a racist ass video about Obama? I don't know. Y'all let me know. You just bought yours yesterday? There it is. Yeah. So you bought it on the website? Let me know if you bought it on the website. $199. You bought it for $200, or you paying this is a it's also limited. This is a limited time offer. New self-pay patients pay $199 for the first 2 monthly fills of Ozempic injection. 0.25 or 0.5 milligrams. Only available for 2 monthly fills between 11/2025 to March 31st, 2026. For each fill after the 2, you pay $349 a month for Ozempic. And that's for the smaller dosage too. That's for the smaller dosage. You want the bigger dosage, which is 2 milligrams. You got to pay $500 a month for that bad boy. You're gonna pay $500 a month. I don't know.
meant to work to make this possible. And Joe, just a superstar, and he's going to take us through the website.
Well, thanks, Dr. Oz. Mr. President, I've launched some big websites, and this is one I think you're going to be very proud of. So you mentioned Gonalef. I think this is an interesting drug that we can check and see how do you find a drug on the site. So we'll pull up the website here.
Scribe is how you stop explaining the same thing over and over at work. Watch this. It'll change your life.
This is TrumpRX.gov. And I'm going to start at the search bar where I can search by the drug name. So I type in Gonalef, and I see it autocompletes. When I click on this, I have a beautiful page that shows the drug product. And right at the top, I see this is 83% off the original price. Now, how do I get this discount? I take this coupon and I bring it to the pharmacy. I can print it out. I can add it to my wallet on my phone, whether it's an Apple or an Android. I show it to the pharmacist, and I get the coupon credit right at the register. Now, this is an intelligent site. We know that there's other drugs that are commonly prescribed along with this, so we surface them here, and they work with the same coupon. Okay, next, what pharmacies can you go to get this drug? It's a smart site. We pull up exactly where you can go to get this. Now, Gonalef is a specialty drug, so you get it through the mail. I can call any one of these pharmacies, and they deliver it straight to my home. It's that simple.
Mr. President, 1 in 3 families is having trouble having a baby. We're going to have a lot of Trump babies with these costs. Folks cannot afford these medications. It's going to change their lives. Now, this is the tip of the...
Did he just say folks gonna have a lot of Trump babies? I know he just didn't say people gonna have a lot of Trump babies. Bro, that did not just come out of his mouth, bro. Yo, that did not just come out of his mouth, chat. Did he just say that? Yo, no way he just said people gonna have a lot of Trump babies. I know damn well that guy didn't say that shit, y'all.
Mr. President, 1 in 3 families is having trouble having a baby. We're going to have a lot of Trump babies with these costs. Folks can...
We're going to have a lot of Trump babies with this cost. Yo, pause. Fucking pause, bro. What is wrong with this dude? Who is this guy talking, dog? Who is this guy talking? What in the hell? Oh my God. Hey, fuck around. Yo, fuck around and find out. Chill out, my boy. You ain't gotta go so crazy, my boy. Just chill out. It ain't that serious, man. Damn, my boy, you going in the chat. Chill out, my boy. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Cannot afford these medications. It's going to change their lives. Now, this is the tip of the iceberg, because Joe did a lot more with Ed and the rest of the National Design Studio.
That's
How many
right.
more medications do you have?
Well, the website launches with over 40 medications, ones that are the popular medications and ones that were previously very expensive. These are things like asthma inhalers, the GLP-1s. And on TrumpRX, you can actually find things like the weight loss shots and also new form factors like the weight loss pill. Let's click on this and see the discount for the pill. 89% off the original price. As you mentioned, Americans for the first time are getting the lowest cost price drugs like the rest of the world is. And we're not done. We're adding more and more drugs week over week. So going forward, it's an invitation to the nation to check TrumpRX.gov anytime you get a prescription.
Mr. President, we're breaking news. This weight loss shot that you've talked about a lot, this is a weight loss pill. And with these pills, which are actually even less expensive than the shots, we project that America will lose about 100 million pounds this year, which is going to make not only folks a lot healthier, but a lot easier to manage when they do get ill. But I'm particularly drawn, as I know you are.
He said Americans they projected America will lose 100 million pounds this year. Boy, they promoting the hell out of this shit. Boy, they just coming up with all type of numbers, my boy. They finna get y'all. They finna get y'all this year, my boy. They getting y'all.
To the plight of folks, young couples trying to have children.
I can't get it. I don't qualify, y'all. I'm VA. I can't get it. I'm VA. So, Trump, I can't go to your website and try none of this shit. I'm VA. I can't do nothing with your website. I'm just letting these people know who might not know. But I'm VA. I can't do it. If you VA, you got TRICARE, any of that, you're not eligible for this. You're not eligible at all. Understand that.
And that first medication, one of the first ones we did most favored nation drug pricing on, has helped an immense number of folks. But the first person to use TrumpRX.gov to buy Gonal-F is here. And I wanted to introduce her to you, if you don't mind. Catherine's with us. Oh, perfect. Secretary Kennedy's going to escort her.
Good evening. I'm incredibly honored to be here tonight. I'm a military spouse, and my husband and I have been navigating infertility and IVF for 5 years, a journey that has included profound loss. Through that experience, we have come to understand how critical access to affordable fertility medication truly is. Medications like Gonal-F and access to them have been essential to our treatment and to our hope of success. IVF demands extraordinary physical and emotional strength. But for so many families, the financial burden can be just as heavy and at times overwhelming. The President's leadership on price transparency and on reducing the costs of medications, some of which are essential in my fertility treatments, has a real and immediate impact. Families like ours, it can mean the difference between being able to continue treatment or having no choice but to stop. These efforts help ensure that IVF remains within reach for families who are doing everything that they can to build a future. Families who should not have to choose between financial stability and the chance to have a child.
Hey, chat, y'all think she pregnant? Y'all think she pregnant yet? Yo, like, don't be up here promoting this shit. Your ass ain't. You said you had infertility problems. You and your husband had infertility problems. My question to you, young lady, are you pregnant now? Otherwise, why the hell you up here for? Are you pregnant now? Huh? You got that baby in the tummy? Let me know. Don't be up here talking and you ain't pregnant yet. Don't be promoting nothing you ain't pregnant yet. What's she talking about? What medicine she's talking about? She said IVF. What medicine she talking about, y'all? Which one she promoting? Which one she promoting? I don't know. She might say it. I'm gonna get back to it.
For that commitment and leadership, we are greatly thankful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Y'all look at her real quick. Look at her. She pregnant, y'all? Is she pregnant?
Well,
bro, she up here talking, dog, about this medicine. She ain't even pregnant, y'all. Come on, y'all. She ain't even pregnant. She ain't even made it through the process yet. She's talking about the
everybody, I want to thank you for the job, Joe. What a job you do. Bobby is back here, who is so instrumental. He's doing such a fantastic job. Who would have thought of Kennedy? We love the Kennedy and the Republican Party, but there's been no better advocate for what we're doing than Bobby Kennedy Jr. So I just want to leave you with this. You're going to save tremendous amounts of money. Go to the site. We have many of them, and in a very short period of time, we'll have just about all of them, and they'll be available for differences of 500, 600, 700%, even in some cases more than that. We're tired of subsidizing the world. We have to put America first. If you think about it, that's exactly what we're doing. We want to take care of everybody, but we have to put America first. So this is going to have a huge impact on healthcare. No matter which plan they come up with, drugs and prescription drugs, they form a big part. And now you're going to be getting those drugs at numbers, not with a 1 or 2 or 10% discount, but think of it, 80%, 90% in some cases, numbers that nobody's even thought possible. So I just want to thank our entire team. They have so many people here that have worked so hard. And again, Joe and Oz and Bobby, thank you very much. Great job. And congratulations to you and all that money you're saving, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
It makes you wonder, like, are these fucking drugs supposed to be this expensive anyway? Like, if you can do a 85, 90, 89%, 90, 91% off discount, then it almost makes you wonder, were these fucking drugs supposed to be this expensive in the first place, bro? Or were they always fucking getting over on us the entire time? Just enriching the fuck out of the goddamn pharmaceutical companies. Just enriching everybody. Just busting our head with thousands of dollars of prices of prescription drugs, bro. But right now apparently, out of left field, they can all of a sudden, these people done made all these billions and billions of dollars. Everybody done put their investments in all of these companies now. Now all of a sudden, oh, we can give the discounts now. We don't made enough off these drugs anyway. These drugs probably old. They probably got new drugs. To be honest with you, they probably got some new shit that they working on. Now they can discount these fucking old ass drugs on his website. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
Everybody appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That walk be killing me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Anyways, guys, that was the TrumpRX interview yesterday. That happened yesterday. Yesterday night or something like that, yesterday evening. But this one right here, the prayer breakfast. I don't know if y'all seen the National Prayer Breakfast. We about to get into this videos. Many of y'all probably already seen it. Some of y'all probably have not seen it yet, but we gonna play it though. But make sure y'all, for those of y'all who believe that this website might be able to get you some discounted prices on some of these prescription drugs, man, and you don't have any government assistance programs, hey, this might be the website for you. TrumpRX might be the website for you. Buy medications at the lowest cash price. Centratide, look at that. Wegovy. All these prescription drugs, you might go in there and find you some for a cheap price if you can get it. But anyways, man, check out TrumpRX if that's what you want to do. All right, ain't gonna tell nobody not to do something. They can do what they want to do. Everybody grown up in here.
Good morning. It is an honor to stand in this sacred gathering where faith, leadership, and conscience meet at the National Prayer Breakfast, a moment that reminds our nation and the world that faith matters, prayer matters, and awareness of God's sovereignty matters, something the President reminded us of last year when he publicly gave God praise for the miracle of his life and God's sovereign plan. This morning, we gather not only to pray, but to give thanks. We give thanks for a president who understands that faith is not a private afterthought, but a public good. A president who has not merely spoken about.
Yo, who is this lady right here? I ain't gonna lie, that haircut hitting hard, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, she got that haircut looking good, chat. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that haircut, though. She wearing that goddamn haircut. Real talk, I ain't gonna lie, chat. She wearing the hell out of that haircut, dog. Real talk. Looking good, man. Looking
about
good.
faith, but has acted to protect it, defend it, and to elevate it to the highest level possible. I stand before you today with a very unique perspective. I've known this president for more than 25 years. I've had a front row seat, not just to the public moments the world sees, but to the private ones that most will never see. And it is there, away from the cameras and the crowds, that character is truly revealed. I've seen his compassion when no one was looking. I've witnessed his generosity when there was nothing to gain. I've watched him step in to help the forgotten, the overlooked.
Somebody said, why do you sound so ghetto? Man, because I like to sound ghetto. Damn, why you so concerned, my boy? Damn, why you worried about how I sound? Damn.
The vulnerable, not because it was politically expedient, but because it was the right thing to do. And more than 20 years ago, I was in his office in Trump Tower, and a well-known minister and my friend were with me. As the conversation was happening, the president turned, not to the famous voice in the room, but to my friend, and simply asked her what she did. She said, "Sir, I serve on the streets, the broken, the homeless, the struggling."
What DJT at? I'm tired of hearing this lady. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Now you just come on now. We here to see what the president's talking about, man. At the prayer breakfast. she long-winded, chat. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. She long-winded. I like your little wedge though, your little hair on your head, but you long-winded, baby.
bringing peace through great strength. In fact, President Trump has brought religion back to this nation and beyond.
Hold up, what she said?
And affirming that America will always be a nation where people are free to worship, free to speak, and free to live their conscience. He is bringing peace through great strength. In fact, President Trump has brought religion back to this nation and beyond.
Oh, she must be a minister, y'all. She a minister? Who knows this lady? Who know this lady, y'all? There are plenty of women that also take part. A train broke out. Trump has 3 failed marriages, so watching him at a prayer breakfast. Who knows this lady, y'all? She must be a minister or something, or a pastor or something.
It is my great honor to introduce, and I think I can say this not as senior advisor, but as a...
I ain't gonna lie though, she looked like she got her swag from Kim Mulkey. If you know, you know. She looked like she got her swag from Coach Kim Mulkey. I believe that's her name, from LSU. That jacket looked real familiar to what she wearing. She might have borrowed that from Coach Mulkey, y'all.
His friend, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the greatest champion of faith that we have ever had in the executive branch, the 45th and 47th President. Stand to your...
The greatest champion of faith. Come on, lady, you ain't got a lie like that. Now, I don't agree with Donald Trump. I don't agree with him on a lot of shit, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't agree with him on a lot of shit. But and I don't give him that much flack. I don't give him a hard time. Some people go in on Donald Trump, but I don't go in on him. But she lying, straight up lying. The greatest champion of faith that we ever had? Come on, lady. You ain't even got to lie like that. What commandment that is, y'all? Don't be lying like that. Come on, lady.
Religion back to this nation and beyond. It is my great honor to introduce, and I think I can say this not as senior advisor, but as his friend, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the greatest champion of faith that we have ever had in the executive branch, the
greatest champion of faith that we have ever had in the executive branch. Yeah, she meat riding, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. She is meat riding. Pause. No pause. She definitely meat riding for sure.
5th and 47th President, stand to your feet and give him the biggest welcome of the United States, a man I am honored to call friend, President Donald J. Trump.
That's her name, Paula White. Paula White.
Hello, everybody.
Okay. Paula White. I like her hair, though.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you to Pastor Paula. Paula's an incredible woman. She's been with me a long time, right from the beginning. This is a beautiful American tradition, and it's a true honor to be back with so many incredible leaders and people of faith at the National Prayer Breakfast. I think I've been here just about every time. It's hard to turn it down. I don't have the courage to turn it down. Sometimes I want to. Come back from a horrendous trip fighting people that can't stand us.
Bro says sometimes I want to turn down the invitation to this shit, you know? Sometimes I don't have the courage to turn it down. Sometimes I want to. Sometimes I don't want to come to this shit. I don't want to come here and pray with y'all. I don't want to show up, but I don't have the courage to turn y'all down. But a lot of I don't want to be here with y'all, but I can't turn it down.
It's keeping us out of wars and seeing things that nobody would believe that anybody would see. And last time I came, I got in at 4 in the morning. They said, "Sir, you're going to be speaking at 7." I said, "Really? Oh, that's wonderful." I said, "Where?" "National Prayer Breakfast." I said, "I'll be there. I'm afraid not to be. I need all the help I can get." And you know, I never get a fair break from the fake news, which is back there. That's a lot of fake news. Because last time I was having a lot of fun.
Boy, he never sees. I'm talking about he never miss a chance to take a shot at somebody. I swear he gonna do it every time. That's why I say, his class, he ain't that. His class act is poor for real talk.
Fun. We had a big crowd. We had 60,000 people, and I'm talking about the fact that I will never make it to heaven. I will never, ever. And I was being funny. I was trying to be, you can't be sarcastic with that. I got in at 4 in the morning. They said, "Sir, you're going to be speaking at 7." I said, "Really? Oh, that's wonderful." I said, "Where?" "National Prayer Breakfast." I said, "I'll be there. I'm afraid not to be. I need all the help I can get." And you know, I never get a fair break from the fake news, which is back there. That's a lot of fake news.
That's a lot of.
Because last time I was having a lot of fun. We had a big crowd. We had 60,000 people, and I'm talking about the fact that I will never make it to heaven. I will never, ever. And I was being funny. I was trying to be, you can't be sarcastic with them because they write your words, and they don't. The people who are reading the words are much different. But I say, I'm never going to make it to heaven. I just don't think I qualify. I don't think there's a thing I can do, but all of these good things I'm doing, including for religion. Religion's back now hotter than ever before. I mean, I have to tell you.
Our religion's hotter than ever before.
But I said, even though I did that, and
religion is hotter than ever before, bro. Y'all call me ghetto.
So many other things, I named things. I said, I won't qualify. I'm not going to make it to heaven. And the New York Times did a front page story that Donald Trump is questioning his life and the meaning of his life. No, I was just having fun. I really think I probably should make it. I mean, I'm not a perfect candidate, but I did a hell of a lot of good for perfect people. That's for sure. Right, Mr. Speaker? But I want to thank the dozens of members of Congress here this morning, including a man of immense faith and immense talent. He's a very talented man. Is a small minority. It's just really, because we go back and forth between minority and majority, and half the time we're minority and we still win. How do we win with a minority? We have a couple of people that I consider to be negative. But we're 1 up, 2 up. Sometimes we're 3 up. In fact, we'll have 2 more victories very soon. We'll be 3 up. And we consider that having a massive majority, okay? Right, Mike? That's considered. We're not spoiled. Can you?
Yo, didn't a rapper say that one time? Didn't Lil Wayne or somebody say that? Yo, y'all, Donald Trump be listening to rap music, bro. Real talk. Y'all think I'm being funny. He be listening to rap music. Didn't one of those rappers say that? I'm 1 up, I'm 2 up, damn it, I'm 3 up, or some shit like that?
Imagine if we ever picked up like 20 or 30 seats. Wouldn't that be that'd be too easy. I think it would be too easy. It wouldn't be fun. I get these calls from Mike. "Sir, could you speak to so-and-so 3 o'clock in the morning?" We have 2 types. We have the type that goes along with us and believes in us, and they're with us all the way. And that, I would say, is 95%, right? And then we have the type that needs a little love all the time, no matter what it is. For the easiest thing on religion or republicanism, the easiest thing to pass, they always make it difficult, but they always get there. But I have to call them always at 3 in the morning. I'll always get that call. "Sir, Speaker Johnson's calling." So I get, "Hi, Mike, what's up? What time is it?" So it's 3 in the morning. So we have 9 names. They're giving us difficulty. They want to have a phone call. I said, all right, let's go. Here we go. Same 9 all the time, right? You know? So I call up. I say, Chip, how you doing, Chip? Hello, sir. Sir, I can't quite get there. I just don't know. Could I come over for breakfast? You know, we have a 9 o'clock vote, right? I said, really? Is it not? Sir, I just...
Yo, y'all believe Trump is a man of God for real? Y'all think he is a man of God? Y'all let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all believe that Trump is a man of God. Put a 2 if y'all think that he's evil as hell. Y'all let me know in the chat. Is Trump a man of God or if he's evil as hell? Let me know, chat.
You got to get me there, sir. Let's have breakfast, Chip. Great. And then I get others. Pretty much the same 9. I don't want to name too many, but I would. And they always get there. We have one that doesn't get there. We have one guy. He's an automatic no. No matter what. If we did welfare reform, if we did the greatest thing in history for religion, no matter what we did, no matter how good it is, greatest tax cuts, and we just did the greatest tax cuts in history, he voted against. He voted. Now, no matter what we do, this moron, no matter what it is, we could put them all together. I think, Mike, what would you say the top 5 things? Name them. We'll put them in one bill, and we'll put them before we get 100% vote, except for this guy named Thomas Massey. There's something wrong with him. We call him Rand Paul Jr. You know, it's like they just vote no. They love voting no. They think it's good politically. The guy's polling at about 9%. It's not good. But we have great support, and we have great support for religion. You know, I've done more for religion than any other president. When Paula was saying that, it was so nice. I was proud of it. And I said, that's true. I told the people backstage. What she said is true. Who else would say that, right? But it is true. But then I said, but that's not saying much, because not too many presidents have done too much for religion. I want to tell you that. Certainly modern day presidents, they bailed out on you. They bailed out. They want to be neutral. They want to be neutral or against. You know, the Democrats are against. I don't know how a person of faith can vote for a Democrat. I really don't. And I know we have some here today, and I don't know why they're here, because they certainly don't give us their vote. I certainly know that we're not going to be convinced.
Damn. So wait. So Trump, you had a national prayer breakfast, bro, and you saying that the Democrats shouldn't be there, bro, because they didn't vote for you. So now they can't show up to the national prayer, y'all, because they Democrats. So it ain't about God. It ain't about the Creator. It ain't about everybody joining together, bipartisan, right? Bipartisanship. Everybody coming together under one faith and sharing this moment with the president, regardless of what side they on. But he just joking though, right? Everybody gonna say, nah, y'all know. You gotta know when Trump is being sarcastic, right? You gotta know when he be joking. These are the things sometimes I do not like about Trump. He worried too much about what's going on the other side, bro. Just do your damn job, bro. I just don't get it, bro.
Convincing them to vote for a little thing called voter ID. It polls, you know, the Democrats are against. I don't know how a person of faith can vote for a Democrat. I really don't. And I know we have some here today, and I don't know why they're here, because they certainly don't give us their vote. I certainly know that we're not going to...
I don't know why they're here, because they certainly don't give us their vote. It's all about this right-wing, left-wing shit get on my fucking nerves. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Be convincing them to vote for a little thing called voter ID. It polls at 97%. And even the Democrat, the people, the voters, are at 82% for voter ID, but the leaders don't want to approve it. They said they will strike. They will not allow it to happen. It's polling at over 90%. It's called voter identification. When you go to the polls, you show if, yes, my name is so-and-so, and I live in the country. I'm here. I can vote. They say that's not allowed. And no, everyone's trying to figure it out. And they do something to win. You know what it is? They cheat. But let's get on to another subject. No, at that, they're the finest, probably anywhere in the world, I would say. But we're trying to pass voter ID and other things having to do with your religion and getting the Democrats.
Somebody said he's saying they're not religious. Y'all always trying to say, give context to what you think he's saying. That ain't what he's saying. That is not what he's saying.
To vote is very, very.
He made clear what he was saying. It was clear. That's just like when you read a scripture in the Bible and it's clear as day. And then somebody want to come and say, no, it don't mean that. It means what? It means something else. Bro, the scripture is clear. It says what it says. What it says is the meaning. It don't mean what you say. He said they didn't vote for him, so they shouldn't be there because they didn't vote for us. That's what he said. He said, fuck the other side. They didn't vote for us. They shouldn't be in this prayer house. That's what he said. Stop. Use your brain. Use your brain.
Tough. But we're grateful to the co-chairs of the breakfast, Representatives Ben Klein and Jonathan Jackson and Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I want to thank a man who's been with me for a long time. We've been friends, and I used to be interviewed by him, and all he wanted to talk about was war. I said, this guy, you know, he's very smart, went to the top schools, was a top student. He's like me. I was a very good student, too, but nobody would think so, you know, and nobody thinks Pete was a good student. I don't know. They think him as a tough cookie, a flamethrower, which I like, actually, in the position of Secretary of War. But he has done some job. Pete Hegseth. You know, he's very popular. He turned down a very large 5-year extension contract for millions of dollars a year. Oops, I don't want to say that. Your wife is here. She's saying, are you crazy? He's got the greatest wife. But it's true that Pete has just been incredible. And I used to go and be interviewed at Fox and Friends. Remember those beautiful days? And I'd say, what do you want to talk about? So I want to talk about releasing about 25 prisoners. They have arrested American soldiers because they taught them how to fight, and they fought really well, and they won every battle. And now they put them in jail because they said they were too tough. I said, so how many are there? 22. And some of these guys were they were fairly tough, wouldn't you say, Pete? But, you know, it's true. We teach people how to fight, and then you put them in jail because they fought a little bit too hard. And we took care of a lot of business, but that's all. We didn't talk about the normal things that an interviewer would be talking about, right? But I saw that, and I saw his love for the military. It was obvious. He was always looking to protect soldiers. And I said, you know, he's a really smart guy. If I ever get this thing, I got to get it. It wasn't easy, you know. They rigged the second election. I had to win it. Had to win it. I needed it for my own ego. I would have had a bad ego for the rest of my life. Now I really have a big ego, though. Beating these lunatics was incredible, right? What a great feeling. Winning every swing state.
Yo, this man is crazy, chat. I swear he crazy, y'all. Beating these lunatics. That's crazy, bro.
Rigged the second election. I had to win it. Had to win it. I needed it for my own ego. I would have had a bad ego for the rest of my life. Now I really have a big ego, though. Beating these lunatics was incredible, right? What a
Now I have a really big ego. Beating these lunatics was incredible.
great feeling. Winning every swing state, winning the popular vote. The first time, you know, they said I didn't win the popular vote. I did. But they said. So they'd always say, they would always thought they'd introduce me. While Donald Trump did not win the popular vote, you know, I'm sitting up being introduced by a Democrat or somebody. And they say, why Donald Trump did not win the popular vote? He won the presidency. Here he is. I said, that was terrible. I said, and we won the popular vote by a lot. We didn't want to play any games. This has been a much different. We had a great first term. We had the greatest economy in history, but this one's going to blow it away already. It's blowing everything away. We have $18 trillion coming into our country, blowing everything away. But we had a great first term. We rebuilt the military. You know, Biden gave a little chunk of it to Afghanistan brilliantly. He left tanks and planes and, you know, little things. I said, why didn't you fly the planes out? He said, well, nobody thought of it. You could have flown. He said, it's very hard to remove the equipment. Really? You couldn't fly an airplane? They buy $150 million brand new airplane. Sir, I think it's better to leave it. Why? It's more cost effective. So we leave them a brand new jet. I said, these people are crazy. But we have it under control now like you've never seen, and our military's never been stronger. And you saw that with the B-2 bombers.
Somebody said, let's watch a Joe Biden speech. Y'all want to watch a Joe Biden speech? Put a 1 in the chat. If y'all want to watch a Joe Biden speech, put a 1 in the chat.
In Iran, and you saw it recently with Venezuela, where we're getting along fantastically with leadership, really become a great relations. I don't think there's been anything quite like it ever. In fact, we have 50 million barrels of oil floating right now over to Houston. And we're working with them really well. I don't think I've ever seen anything. The cooperation that we have and it's great for them because they were in big trouble economically, and yet they have more oil than any other country in the world, I think, except us. But they have more oil just about than any. And by the way, us and them, we have 68% of the world's oil. Now, I know that doesn't mean too much to people of great religion. I know you want to hear about, but you know, we got to keep our country strong, and we're doing really good. But that's been an amazing operation. I would say when people saw that, I was just talking to a great leader from El Salvador, and he said, man, that was some attack. I've never seen anything like that one, right? Right? That was good, even by your high standard.
Yo, how he be impersonating people? That shit be funny as hell. Hold on, bro. I'm telling y'all, Trump is a funny guy. You like him, you hate him, man. You gotta admit, he funny as hell.
I was just talking to a great leader from El Salvador, and he said, man, that was some attack. I've never seen anything like that one, right? Right? That was good, even by your high standard, right? That was a hell of an attack.
Man, that was some attack. Man, that was some attack. How did you do that? Y'all be calling me ghetto, boy. Trump ghetto as hell, boy. I don't care what y'all say.
Man, that was some attack. I've never seen anything like that one, right? Right? That was good, even by your high standard, right? That was a hell of an attack. But we have a great country. We have tremendous leaders. We have a fantastic cabinet. We have unbelievable bench, and one of them is Attorney General Pam Bondi, who may be here. Where's Pam? Is she here? Where? Where are you, Pam? Where? See, she wants to keep it nice and low key. You're really catching fire, by the way, Pam. You know, they were saying about Kristi Noem yesterday. I did the Super Bowl interview. Sir, are you going to relieve Kristi Noem of her duties? No. Oh.
Yo, the way he be explaining these people how they be talking is funny. Sir, are you gonna relieve Kristi Noem of her duties? Yo, I can expect to get a good ass laugh out of Trump. I swear, every time.
You know, they were saying about Kristi Noem yesterday. I did the Super Bowl interview. Sir, are you going to relieve Kristi Noem of her duties? No.
Yo, this is the president, y'all. We talking about the president, the most powerful man, we talking about the guy that runs the country, bro. He acts like this. Like, this is wild, bro.
No. I said, why would I do that? We have the strongest border in the history of our country. We have the best crime numbers we've ever had. Going back to the year 1900, that's 125 years, we have the lowest crime numbers, despite the fact that this horrible, world's worst president, this is the worst president we've ever had, Biden. He had no idea he was president, so he doesn't take it personally.
Yo, he gonna take a shot at Joe Biden every chance he get. It never fails, bro. He gonna always take a shot at Joe Biden. Every speech he take, he is gonna come for Joe Biden's head every time. Every time. He said Joe Biden didn't even know he was president.
We have the lowest crime numbers, despite the fact that this horrible, world's worst president, this is the worst president we've ever had, Biden. He had no idea he was president, so he doesn't take it personally. I don't want him to take it personally.
He had no idea he was president, so he don't take it personal. Bro, yo, he be having me rolling, bro. That's why I can't hate this guy. Even though I don't agree with him on a lot of shit, I can't hate this man because he have me rolling on the ground, y'all. I be laughing my ass off, literally. Pause.
Personally. Fortunately, he has no idea what the hell I'm saying. And he's watching right now. He's happy with what I just said. Okay. This is what we had running our country. But no, he was our worst president. We had some bad ones. We had Obama was very bad. Terrible divide. Take it personally.
Hold on, bro.
I don't want him to take it personally. Some of her duties.
Yo, he swear like he just be saying random shit. He's at a prayer breakfast, bro. He think he at a roasting session right now. Yo, he think he on a show with Snoop Dogg them. He's still roasting folks right now, bro. He is roasting Joe Biden ass right now at the prayer breakfast.
No. Oh. I said, why would I do that? We have the strongest border in the history of our country. We have the best crime numbers we've ever had. Going back to the year 1900, that's 125 years, we have the lowest crime numbers, despite the fact that this horrible, world's worst president, this is the worst president we've ever had, Biden. He had no idea he was president, so he doesn't take it personally. I don't want him to take it personally. Fortunately, he has no idea what the hell I'm saying. And he's watching right now. He's happy with what I just said. Okay. This is what we had running our country. But no, he was our worst president. We had some bad ones. We had Obama was very bad, terrible divider of our country. He was a divider. And believe it or not, we're bringing the country together. You know what's bringing it together? Tremendous success. We're having tremendous success. We have more investment being made in our country now than any country has ever had by many times. You go back 10 years, a certain country, not us, $3 trillion. We have in 11 months, because the 12th month is coming out next week, we have $18 trillion of investment coming in. The biggest ever was 3 many years ago. And one of the reasons for it is Secretaries Doug Burgum and Doug Collins. They are drilling like, you know, my whole thing was drill, baby, drill. Where are they sitting? I love those two guys. Sit. Come on, stand up. And is Catherine there? That's Catherine. Yes. Hi, Catherine. Chris. What they are drilling like nobody. I spoke with Chris yesterday, Doug. I said, how we doing? Sir, we're drilling more oil than anybody's ever drilled by double, right? By double. We're doing it. That's why I was in Iowa last week with the farmers who were doing very well. We just handed them $12 billion out of tariff money because they were taken advantage of by foreign countries, various foreign countries. And I said, how much was it that they got hurt for? $12 billion. I said, good, let's write them a check. I gave the farmers $12 billion. And they don't even want it. They just want to be treated fairly. But we're getting it from that, but we're getting it with nobody's ever in history, and we've never done it either, like anywhere close. We're taking out more energy out of our beautiful land, oil and gas, clean oil and gas. And I always say, clean, beautiful coal. You know, the only thing I told these two guys they have to do, because they're the greatest energy people in the world, the best, I said, when you mention the word coal, anytime you mention coal, C-O-A-L, anytime you mention it, has to be preceded by two words, clean and beautiful. So Doug was making a speech the other day, and I sort of tried to pass a note, because he mentioned coal about 40 times, and he kept saying, clean, beautiful coal, clean. It really only works a few times, right? I said, no, when you say coal, clean, beautiful. You know, we buy all that wind from, we don't anymore. So we haven't approved anything in wind, right, Doug? Nothing, because it's, you know, it's a quick way to losing money, losing beauty, losing your fields, killing your birds. And other than that, it doesn't work. And Europe is Europe is so bad with the windmills, they're destroying their country with wind. And I was over there, it's not even recognizable what they've done. They've got to.
Yo, bro, just be rambling, bro, like all over the place. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's hard to take him serious sometimes because he just he plays so much. He's funny as hell. He roasts Joe Biden and he roasts other countries. He talks so much shit, bro. And he just, like, his speeches have no substance, but it's funny as hell. He be all over the place in his speeches, bro. All over the place. He go from one subject matter to the other one, to this, to that. It's like, bro, he be everywhere, man. No substance at all.
They've got a big problem on their hands. Between immigration and energy, Europe is destroying itself, and they better get smart. And I love them all. I'm friends with everyone of every country over there. I've helped them a lot. Got the GDP up from 2% to 5%, which is, for spending, for military spending. Nobody thought that was possible. Nobody thought 2% was possible. Got them to 5%. But it's not recognizable, Europe. If you go through the different cities, it's a very sad thing. And I tell it, I went over to Davos, they invited me, and when I left, they said that may have been the stupidest invitation we ever gave to somebody, Switzerland. But they have to, I just say it like it is, they're destroying their country. Their energy is ridiculous, what they've done, and the immigration is,
Damn, I ain't read the chat in a minute, man. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat. Let me see what y'all talking about. I ain't read the chat. Tariffs are a tax on the people, Sir Private said. Elizabeth said, like the money of the crude oil he sold and sent overseas, no one is asking where's the money. Ooh, fascist Trump is going to be meat in the afterlife. Total liar. Black Shear said, duck, duck, doctor says he had several strokes and he got 3 months left. Blah, blah, blah. He's dying of dementia. Trump dodged the draft like a dog. Blocked the foreign. I think Trump, somebody said, he pretends to be a badass, but actually he's a whiny. Okay. Hey, Trump, how's your foot? I think Trump must have been a fan of Disneyland on TV when he was growing up. He got stuck in Fantasyland and still there. All right. Most Europeans doesn't consider us an ally anymore. Epstein best friend at the prayer breakfast. He tells the truth and the earth is flat. Somebody say he tells the truth, chat. They say he tells the truth.
Telling you, it's a place where many of these countries are not recognizable, and I'd like to see them straighten it out. Very soon, it's going to be impossible for them to straighten it out. We have our director of national and international intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who's doing a great job. Where's Tulsi? She took a lot of heat 2 days ago because she went in at Pam's insistence. She went in and she looked at votes that want to be checked out from Georgia. They say, why is she doing it? Right, Pam? Why is she doing it? Because Pam wanted her to do it. And you know why? Because she's smart And they said, well, this has to do, her position has to do, it's really not so, but her position has to do with international. I say, well, the same people that said that, they've been saying Russia, Russia, Russia has been screwing our elections, okay? So let's assume Russia had something to do with it. They say, no, no, Russia didn't have. So now they're saying Russia had nothing to do with it. Because if I say Russia, that it's perfectly fine. But you could add China and about 5 other countries to it. But she's done a great job, and Pam has done a fantastic job, and we appreciate it both. I haven't seen you in a couple of days. And I have one of the greatest negotiators. I'm so proud of him. He's a great negotiator. He's smart and respected by everybody. Jameson Greer, U.S. Trade. Where is Jameson?
Chat, y'all think Pam Bundy's doing a good job as Attorney General? Chat, put a 1 in the chat if y'all think Pam Bundy is doing a good job. Put a 2 if you think she's not doing a good job. Let me know, chat. Let me know.
He's around here someplace. Thank you, Jameson. Boy, he's good. We have a great team. We have a great economic team, a great military team. We have Raisin Cain helps Pete. Raisin Cain. General Cain, he wiped out ISIS in 3 weeks. I was told by General Mattis and General Milley, sir, it will take 5 years. I said, what? Sir, it'll take 5 years. I said, you mean we have the best equipment in the world, and we're finding guys that use bad rifles, knives preferably. They're very good with a knife, but a knife shouldn't do it. And I said, why? And I flew over to Iraq, and I met a guy named Cain. I came out of the plane, and there's a handsome general standing there. I had 3 generals. I went there to find out why the hell we couldn't win the war. Why aren't we winning the war against ISIS?
What's up, Miss Candy, Alice? Miss Candy.
You know, playing games with us. So I wanted to see, and that's where I met Raisin Cain. I said, what's your first name? Raisin, sir? They call me Raisin. I said, what the hell kind of a name is that? Right? We've learned a lot about him. Now we get it. In his very quiet manner, he's brutal. Just ask Venezuela. Ask Iran. They're negotiating now. They don't want us to hit them. You know, we have a big fleet going over to Iran. But so Raisin was there at the bottom of the plane. What's your name? Raisin. What's your last name? Cain. I said, so your name is, let's get this straight. Your name is Raisin Cain, right? Yes, sir, that's what they call me. You're the guy I'm looking for. And then he said, sir, if you'd like, you can go and sleep. You know, it's a 20-hour trip. If you'd like, you can go and sleep. We have quarters prepared for you. I said, no, no, I don't have to sleep. I've been on a plane sleeping for 20, I mean, I'm sleeping the plane. I don't sleep on planes. I don't like sleeping on planes, you know. I like looking out the window watching for missiles and enemies, actually. But he said, sir, we have a place prepared for you, and we can meet after you've rested. I said, no, 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 let's go right now. So we did that. And I said to him, I said, they tell me it's going to take 5 years to defeat ISIS. No, sir. I said, well, how long would it be, General Cain? Sir, we can do it in 4 weeks. I said, what? We can do it in 4 weeks, sir. And I should have maybe a couple of weeks left over. I mean, you can do it in less than 4 weeks? Yes, sir. I said, well, how come they tell me, our television generals, as I call them, two very poor generals, I mean, these guys, they look nice, they were nice guys. They didn't have what it took, believe me. Yeah, some people have that. They don't have what it takes no matter what. I said, how come they tell me it's 4 to 5 years? And he said, well, I don't want to speak badly about anybody, so I'd rather not comment on that. I found that to be nice, okay? But I said, all right, tell me how you're going to do it. Well, sir, we use this one base here, and we're hundreds of miles away, and by the time the planes get to the target, they have to come back and refuel, and we're too far. I said, why do we do that? Because we don't want to offend any of the other countries. I said, we have a lot of portable airports, right, Pete? We have portable airports all over the Middle East, runways that are portable. You put them down, you take them up. We have equipment. Nobody has the stuff we have. We have airports that look better than Kennedy Airport. And they're built in sand. And it took us about 2 minutes to build them. No, the equipment is incredible. You can land any plane on them, right? Portable. and we've got many of them, sir. We have to use them. I said, why don't we? Because we didn't want to offend another country. I said, let me ask you a question. You're in the middle of the desert. Would another country know if we're taking off from some strip in the desert? They would have no idea, sir. They don't have radar. They don't have anything. So he explained it. So we want to hit them, sir, from 17 different locations. And we want to hit them left. And we hit them, here we go. And we want to hit them right. Sure, and we want to hit them from the top. And we want to hit them from the bottom. East, west, north, south. Sir, they won't know what the hell hit, and we'll knock them out. We did it politically correct. 5 years. We'd call up the country head and we'd tell them, we'd like to attack ISIS today. As soon as the call was made, they'd call ISIS and tell them, you're going to be attacked, get the hell out of it. This is what we were doing for years, not with Raising Cane and not with Pete Hegseth, right, Pete? We don't do that.
Raising Cane.
And we have a little different method. So I went back to Washington and I said, you know, this guy, he said, and then I checked up on him and he was so respected. I said, he's really like respected. And I called him back. I said, General, go at it. Do good luck. God bless you. And he said, I say that to the people going out every time. And they say it when we give the okay for like the attack on Venezuela or the attack on Iran. He says, I say, we all say, we're all in a room together watching. We watch it. We watch these attacks. We always say, God bless you. Have a safe journey. It's a dangerous journey. These are dangerous journeys. Flying through the middle of Iran, they know you're coming, and you're in a B-2 bomber, the most incredible thing, and they weren't able to see it because it's stealth. So good, we ordered 20 more of them, brand new, updated version. I actually said, don't get the updated, just take the one you have. They said, no, sir, the new one's even better. We have a military, nobody has a military like we do. I rebuilt it, by the way, during my first term. I mean, I think it's one of the best things I did. I rebuilt the military during the first term, and now we're really rebuilding the military, right? But the bottom line, I called him, I said, so you think you can do it, General? Yes, sir, I can do it. And it was over in 3 weeks. It was incredible, and I mean over. And then the election's rigged, and I wasn't there, and for 4 years, ISIS rebuilt. And they have a little bit of ISIS now again. And we knocked the hell out of them the other day in Nigeria because they were killing Christians. You know about that. They were killing Christians. So you can't do that. When Christians come under attack, they know they're going to be attacked violently and viciously by President Trump. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but that's the way it is. So we're also delighted to welcome visiting leaders and dignitaries from more than 110 countries. They're here, and including one of my favorite people, President Bukele of El Salvador. He has been so incredible. He has been such a great ally of this country. Thank you very much. Such a great ally. He's, some of you have seen, he operates rather large prisons, like prisons that's so large you can't see from one side to the other.
Somebody said, I'll be honest, I wish Bernie Sanders wasn't half in the grave. Yo, numbers are dropping for recruit intake, and you tried to make it all white. I guess that's building with shit, says DOTL Podcast. FDT said, Dust. Hope everybody doing well today, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button, man. Just hit that like button, man. Show some love to the host. You feel me? Show some love to the host, man.
Unless you have perfect 20/20 eyesight with binoculars, that's how long and big. And they do a job. They do a very humane job, but they're very strong prisons. And we send a lot of the people that we capture, the murderers, the drug dealers, the people that came into our country illegally and have already committed massive crimes. We had 11,888 murderers, and many of them are in your prisons right now, right? And he does a fantastic job. I mean, he really sounds like a different kind of, this is a religious breakfast. You're going to walk away and say, he's the meanest son of a gun I've ever seen. But I'm not. I just want to keep our country safe. It's very simple. We have to keep our country safe. So I want to thank you, Mr. President, for a great, amazing job you do with our people, too. They work together so well. Appreciate it. Not easy. This prayer breakfast comes at a special time for our country as we prepare to celebrate the 250th anniversary of American independence. And we're also very shortly going to have the Olympics and the World Cup. And, you know, I got them. I was the one that got the Olympics, and I was the one that got, and I was so upset because I got them. I tried to move them up, but I couldn't. And my first term, I was getting them, and Barack Hussein Obama would refuse to call the Olympics because, in all fairness, they took advantage of him. Remember, he went there. He flew all the way to whatever country, some beautiful country in Europe, and he sat, he made his presentation, and he ended up coming in last. And that shouldn't happen to a president. You know, if you're a president, you have to get a wink. I'll go there, but are you going to give us the Olympics? Otherwise, I'm not going there. I don't want to. So he sat there, made a very nice presentation. He came in last, came in fourth place. So he hated those people. He won't say that, I don't think, but I'll say it for him. And so he refused to be involved with the Olympics. I got a call from Democrats. The Democrat mayor of Los Angeles called me. So we have a problem. We have a president that refuses to call the Olympic Committee. And I just won the presidency. I was president-elect. And so I wasn't even in office. And I called this gentleman from, I think, Denmark. Can you believe? They own a large piece of ice that we're negotiating for. Extremely, it's the biggest piece of ice in the world. The world's largest piece of ice. They'll never run out of water. But I called the president, I called the various people, but the head of the Olympic Committee, very nice guy, and I couldn't get him off the phone. He was starving for love because nobody called him. They just wanted to know from the president, does the United States want the Olympics? They didn't want to choose the United States and then, you know, have somebody say, like, you know, we don't care. I said, I desperately want it. We're going to get it, blah, blah, blah. And I spoke to him, I spoke to other people, and I got it. I called up the Democrat from Los Angeles, happened to be the mayor of Los Angeles. He was devastated. He couldn't get the all they wanted to do is have an acknowledgement from the head of the country. Wouldn't do it. But I did it. We got the Olympics. And we got the World Cup. But then I was, I don't know if Johnny's here from the World Cup, but that guy's great. He's great, my friend. But I got them both, and I was really upset because I got them. And then I said, I won't be, think of it, I won't be president because they're in the following term. Because, you know, when you get the Olympics, usually it's 10 years in advance. And I said, so I did all that good work. It wasn't that easy. I got it. Then I got the World Cup. They both were happening now in a year, another year and a half, a year, right after the 250. I didn't get 250. I tried to claim it a couple of times. I said, and I produced 250-year anniversary. That was my deal. I got 250 years, and the press hit me hard on that one, so I gave that up immediately. But I happened to be president during that, so think of it. So I'm the president, and I got these two things, and I said, you know what? I got the Olympics to come to the United States, and I got the World Cup to come to the United States, and I probably won't even be invited to be there. And I was really angry. And then they rigged the election, and then I said, I'm coming back. And I got the Olympics, and I got the World Cup. What?
Then they rigged the elections. And then I said, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm telling y'all, man, this man is a damn comedian, bro. Donald Trump is a damn comedian.
And at some point, I'm going to get right back onto the teleprompter, and you're going to say, that was a wonderful speech. On that momentous day in 1776. This is so much easier. You know, it takes real talent to do the other. The other is much more talent, but that's why we're president, I think. But we have very important words to say, and this is such an important group. And we have plenty of time to say it, because when it comes to religion, I have all the time. I'm one of the few that say we have all the time in the world. But on that momentous day in 1776, history changed forever when our founders proclaimed the immortal truths that echoed around the world and down all the way through time. They declared that all of us are made free and equal by the hand of our Creator. A lot of presidents refuse to say that. They refuse to say that. Some refuse. Some major politicians refuse to say the word God. They don't want to say it. I say it. That we are endowed with our sacred rights to life, liberty, and not by government, but by God Almighty Himself. And those words rang out from Philadelphia and launched a revolution, not just in America, but in the hearts of all humanity. The principles of the Declaration of Independence, which is one of three, sitting right beautifully in the Oval Office. I took it out of the vaults, and it's beautiful. It's beautifully protected, and it's a magnificent document. I stare at it all the time, and I read it as often as I can. A true, brilliant work of art. They've stirred the spirit of patriots in every nation, liberated millions from tyranny, and lifted billions from poverty, and it's doing now more than ever before. We're doing better than this country's ever done. In 1 year, think of what we can do. We just have to keep it going, Mr. Speaker, if you don't mind. Okay, got to keep it going. But no, and the Democrats admit this, no president in his first year has ever done the things we've done. When you think we've gotten the largest tax cut in history, larger than even in the first term. But we've done something else, and I think we've brought back spirit to our country. You know, 2 years ago, you couldn't get anybody to go into the military. They laughed at you when they said they didn't respect our country. They didn't respect our president. They thought he was a joke. They thought our country was a joke. Other countries laughed at us and took advantage of us with tariffs, and we weren't allowed to charge, and they were allowed to charge, but we are allowed to charge. And I hope we get that Supreme Court decision, because we have taken in hundreds of billions of dollars of money. We're a rich nation again, doing what other nations have done to us for many, many years. But the biggest thing is what's happened to me. It's the spirit of our country, and that goes for religion, but it also goes for the military. We couldn't recruit anybody to go into our great military. We were the worst I think it's ever been 2.5 years ago under the Sleepy Joe Biden administration. I call him Crooked Joe and Sleepy Joe. I find them to be equal, actually. I do polls. Which is better, Crooked Joe or Sleepy Joe? And they poll about even. So I use both.
Yo, he gonna always find a way to make me laugh. Ideal poll, is it Sleepy Joe or is it Crooked Joe? They come about even. Yo, this man is funny as hell, bro.
But we have now the greatest recruiting that we've ever had. Everybody wants to be in the military. We're hot as a pistol.
Everybody wants to be in the military, Trump. Come on, bro. I see what you're doing right here, bro. Come on, bro. You ain't fooling nobody, bro.
We couldn't get anybody to go into not me, the last administration. Nobody wanted to be in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, Space Force, which is turning out to be good. I'm so proud of it because I'm the father of Space Force. I'm the one that wanted it. So, but we couldn't get people. We couldn't get people. They couldn't get people to go into any of them, including our police departments and our fire departments. They weren't proud of our nation. They had no spirit. And now we have had the single greatest recruitment in the history of our country. There's never been anything like it.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Y'all leave it up to Trump. Trump has just turned everything around. In my first year, nobody wanted to join the military 2 years ago. Now everybody's joining the military. Nobody wanted to be a police. Nobody wanted to be a firefighter. Now everybody, all the departments is booming right now. SpaceX is booming. Everything is booming. Crime is down, chat. Crime is also down. But Donald Trump know he can sell us a good one, y'all. I swear he can sell us. He is a damn good salesman.
We have waiting lists of people wanting to get in. In fact, if we want to expand the military, Mr. Speaker, this would be a very good time to do it. We have so many people want to get into the military that, we also won in the Supreme Court, as you know, based on merit. It was a merit, and we take people based on merit. Like, we prefer a strong person in the military as opposed to a weak person. We prefer somebody that's a strong, powerful person with extremely good vision that can shoot a rifle very well, to a person that's extremely weak, non-muscular, can't shoot a rifle, has no idea where the hell he is. We have a military where they all look like Tom Cruise, only bigger.
Somebody said it's true, recruiting is off the chain. Recruiting is off the chain. Americans want their country back. Is recruiting off the chain right now? I don't know. I honestly, I can't. I ain't looked at recruiting. I ain't looked at any of the stats on recruiting. I don't know. It just sounds like he's shooting us a good one right now. But is recruiting really off the chain right now? Military recruitment is up because there aren't any other jobs. No Trump has ever served. Enjoy your hate train. How to, honey? Bye.
Now we hire on merit now, and that goes for colleges. People get into colleges now. If you have great boards and great marks and you work, and then somebody else gets in that's not nearly as qualified, now it's a merit system. It's tough in one way, but it's, our country was built on a system of merit, and then we went away from it a number of years ago. We got it back. That was a brave decision by the Supreme Court, I'll say. And it's tough on some people. It makes people work harder, I think. But we have to base our country on merit, or we won't have a country. We were going in such a bad direction. It's incredible. And I give a lot of credit on that one to the Supreme Court. And they give me some bad ones, too. But I give a lot of credit. That took a lot of courage to do it. But they understood it was the right thing to do. To be a great nation, however, I think, and I may be wrong, but I don't think so, because I've watched a lot and I study a lot. You have to have religion. You have to have it. You have to have faith. You have to have God. And thankfully, as we gather today, there are many signs that religion is coming back, and now it's no longer signs. It's just coming back. It's coming back so strong. Your churches are filling up. You didn't have that 2 years ago.
Is religion coming back, chat? Are the churches filling up again? What's going on? Is that a true statement, y'all? Because a lot of people left the church, man. A lot of people ain't been going to church in a long time, and I'm one of those people. I ain't been to church in years, y'all. But is it coming back, y'all? Everybody getting back in the church? Y'all let me know.
It was hurt by COVID, but it really, and they treated you terribly. The Democrats treated you terribly. Sorry, Mr. Congressman, but the truth is, they had pastors holding services outside. The people were standing 15 feet away from each other, and everybody was arrested. It was like they ran it. They always like to say, Trump is a dictator. They love that. I'm not a dictator. But they were like dictators. They were like the Gestapo. They were arresting people for going to church, and they were arresting people and treating people like horribly. And I made a lot of amends to those people. Those people were treated very badly for wanting to go to church. It had a huge impact, negative impact on churches, but the churches are now coming back stronger than ever. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, actually. So you're all hot, okay? It's like the king of Saudi Arabia. He said, and you probably heard me say it, I love it, it was with him. And he said, a year and a half ago, he said, you know, a year and a half ago, he said, we thought your country was dead. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Nobody even close. I think you can say that, Mr. I mean, El Salvador is very hot, but I think we can say that, right? We have the Congo here. I don't know. The Congo is hot. We just ended a war. One of our 8 wars that we ended, right? He's a great guy, too. He's a great guy. You talk about people that suffered. Those people suffered. In 2025, more copies of the Holy Bible were sold in the United States than at any time in the last 100 years. Now, how about that?
Is that a fact, chat? Y'all, somebody fact check that. Is that a fact? Last year in 2025, more Holy Bibles was sold in the year of 2025 than any other time in the last 100 years, he said? Did he say the last 100 years? Oh, bro, that's just because they printing more, that's all. They just printing more of them. They got different versions. They got all these different versions of the Bible. They got a lot more versions, a lot more Bibles. That's probably why, bro. It ain't because you're bringing religion back. Come on, Trump. Trump, come on, man. You can't take credit for everything, bro.
We have the...
You know one thing about Trump? He give a lot of credit to himself, chat. He really does. But he never give credit to the creator. Ever. He never give credit to God, y'all. Never. Ever. Bro, name one time on this video if he gave all glory and credit to God. Not one time. Not one time, chat. And he's at a prayer breakfast.
The Congo here, I don't know. The Congo is hot. We just ended a war. One of our 8 wars that we ended, right? He's a great guy, too. He's a great guy. You talk about people that suffered. Those people suffered. In 2025, more copies of the Holy Bible were sold in the United States than at any time in the last 100 years. Now, how about that? How about that? Did you know that, Mr. Speaker? You know, Mike Johnson's a very religious person, and he does not hide it. He'll say to me sometimes at lunch, "Sir, may we pray?" I say, "Excuse me? We're having lunch." You know, the Oval. It's okay with me. But he's a very religious person, and he is popular, and he's doing an unbelievable job. So I think God is watching over you. God is watching over him. I don't know about...
But somebody said they looked it up on ChatGPT, right? He's telling the truth. But it's just like, okay, we sold more Holy Bibles in 2025 than we have in the last 100 years. But you got to think, dog, they coming out with new versions of Bibles every week, bro. Every year they got a new version of a Bible. They so many different Bibles, man. Like, which Bible we talking about? The King James, the English Standard Version, the National, the NIV, the KIG, the New King James. Like, which version are we talking about? It's so many Bibles. Of course it's going to be more Bibles sold. Duh.
Me. So I hang around with him because I feel I'm protected a little bit. In the last 12 months, young Americans attended church at nearly twice the rate as they did 4 years ago. And many churches, you see the stats, I mean, people are talking about it. The radical left is not happy about it. Many Democrats are not happy about it. This, by the way, will be the last year that Democrats show up to this event, I tell you. But I got to say, how the hell do you vote for these people? But some churches are seeing a 30%, 50%, or even 70% increase in the number of converts and also the number of people going to church every week. To support this exciting renewal this morning, I'm pleased to announce that on May 17th, 2026, that we're inviting Americans from all across the country to come together on our national mall to pray, to give thanks, and we are going to do something that everyone said, like, that's tough. We're going to rededicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people...
That's a damn lie, Donald Trump. No, you're not. That's a damn lie. I gotta call you out on that bullshit, bro. That's a damn lie. And y'all know I've been laughing at Donald Trump all day, but man, y'all ain't trying to unite the United States under one nation under God. No, y'all ain't, bro. All y'all do is y'all can't have no type of bipartisan agreements on nothing. All y'all do is take shot at each other, call each other names, Sleepy Joe this, Sleepy Joe that, the right wing this, right wing that, left wing Democrats, all this shit y'all talk about each other every single day. Y'all constantly divide. We can look at the chat right now. The chat is divided right now because of our leaders, bro. It's just bullshit, bro. Same old bullshit.
Tough. We're going to rededicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people...
I wish that's true. All right, I'll say it like that. I wish what you saying is true. I wish we could rededicate America as one nation. Everybody, one nation, you know, but it's just, bro, unrealistic as hell.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's what I mean by the Spirit. It's so incredible to see it. I see it so much. I've never seen anything like it in 1 year. I thought it would take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to be where we are. We've done it in, really 10 months. We're at 12, but now it's just getting...
My bad, y'all. I ain't read the chat in a minute. Let me go through the chat real quick. I hadn't read the chat in a minute. Here we go, man. Bullshit. Deport Trump. He's 80, so he'll be gone before he get locked up. That's the difference between being a religious person and knowing Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior. Cancel a lot of religious people who don't know Jesus. Bullshit. The King James Bible specifically is most published book of all time. All Bibles, same message. That's not true. All Bibles don't have the same message. You must don't know some of those Bibles that they create, they take some scriptures out of there. Yeah, go back and try again, buddy. Nice try though. Languages are complex and all the words don't have anything exact match. Okay. What's this child? Blah blah blah. Remember what I told y'all. Come on, man. Have you ever heard Trump say Jesus' name? Never. Maybe. I don't know. Children, Joe Friday said they would generate a lifetime fiscal deficit, total benefit minus total taxes of 6.3 trillion. Children of unlawful immigrants are likely to remain a net fiscal burden on the U.S. taxpayers, although a far smaller burden than their parents. A final problem is that unlawful immigration appears to some argue that it does not matter whether unlawful immigrants create a fiscal deficit. Blah, 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 blah. Come on, bro. You putting a lot of shit in the chat.
Getting to a level that we've never reached before as a country. But that includes religion. And maybe that's part of the reason that we're doing so well. There's such great spirit. It's all spirit, and it includes religion. I've always said, you just can't have a great country if you don't have religion. You have to believe in something. You have to believe that what we're doing, there's a reason for it. There has to be a reason for it. We're all working and we're behaving. I behave because I'm afraid not to, okay? Because I don't want to get in trouble. No, it's such a positive thing, and people are starting to see it, and they go into church, and they're meeting people, and families are developing. It's really, the things are happening in our country right now, and we have to get the bad ones out. We have to do it. We can't let that happen, and we're being very tough in law and order and crime, and I hate to say it because it doesn't seem to go hand in hand, but you can't have people going to churches and coming out and have criminals taking advantage and doing things that nobody wants to even describe. And that's not happening anymore. You know, Washington, D.C. is a very safe city now. When I took over, Washington, D.C. was a death trap. Many people were being killed. 2, 3 a week, they were being killed. Come in from Iowa to look at the Lincoln Memorial, the Jeff.
Yo, is Washington, D.C. really a safe city now? He said Washington, D.C. is a safe city now, chat. Really? Who in DC, y'all? Y'all let me know if you in DC. Let me know if it's safe out there. Let me know. Y'all tell me. I don't know. I ain't in DC. I don't know.
Jefferson, the George Washington, the monument, and they called the parents. I'm sorry, sir, your son has been killed. What? Your son has been killed. That doesn't happen. You know, we took out 2,000 monsters out of Washington, D.C. It's not just that we have the troops, and they are central casting. I love them. I think, to me, it looks much more beautiful. You walk down the street, you have 3 guys that are 6'6" and angry-looking people, but they actually are very nice. They're angry when they see criminals. That's all. They get angry. They took Tren de Aragua, and honestly, I don't want to say this, but they beat the crap out of them.
Yo, Joe Friday, bro, where are you copying and pasting from, bro? You putting a lot of information in the chat right now, bro. A lot of information, bro. Where are you copying and pasting from? Like, can you give us your sources, bro? At least if you're going to copy and paste all this shit in the chat, at least provide some sources. Damn.
They beat the crap out of them. They found that they were doing bad things, and Tren de Aragua didn't want anything to do with these guys. Then we put them in the paddy wagon. We took them back to where they came from. You know that. But we took out over 2,000 hardcore criminals. You know, 2% of the population produces 90%.
Hold on real quick. You said the House budget of the housebudgetcommittee.com. Okay. At real cost of immigration. Okay. He gave us some sources. Okay. I appreciate that, Joe Friday. I appreciate that. I'm definitely taking a screenshot right now. And I'm going to look into those sources that you provided. Now, I can respect that. I can respect the hell out of that. I can respect that. Somebody coming in the chat, voicing their opinion, putting in some information in the chat, and then they drop a source like that. I'm going to definitely check it out. The people that know me know I'm going to go check it out. Trust and believe that.
Of the violent crime. Think of that.
What my boy Biggest said, Stephen Miller propaganda. Is that what it is that he putting out? I'm like, what are those files you mean files? Anyway.
Think of that. And Washington now is a very safe place. I get it all the time. I go into the White House and people that work in the White House come up, sir, I want to thank you so much. Young woman, man.
Somebody said, did you notice that he said the crowd cheering for him was feeling the spirit? Then Pocket Mormo said, does Trump understand that the prayer breakfast is supposed to be about faith and prayer and not immigration policies? Yo, man, Trump, I think this entire time, this entire 50 minutes we've been watching this, Trump haven't said one thing about faith. He said, no, not one thing about faith, but he said that they're going to have a prayer, some type of prayer assembly in May for all American citizens to come to. So he did say something about that, but the entire 54 minutes, he haven't said anything about faith, praying. I'm talking about, bro, he ain't talking about nothing but bullshit in the left wing.
They say, I walked to work. I couldn't have walked to work. I wouldn't have even thought to walk to work before. They walk to work. The place is booming. Restaurants are opening up. The restaurants were almost going to be all closed. They would have been all closed. You couldn't even go, even if you got there, the restaurant would be robbed with people sitting there. Hold up your hands, everybody. Give us your money. And then they'd whack people with the butt of a gun. And Washington is a very safe city. We have almost no crime. And it's a miracle, but it took place very quickly. And it's the same thing for every other place we've gone. In Louisiana, New Orleans, I got a call from the governor, Jeff Landry, great guy, great governor. He said, could you send the troops? Because I'll tell you what, this place is out of control. I did, and in a period of 2 weeks, we got crime down by 25%. Now it's been about 7 or 8 weeks. We have it down 77%, and within another month, they're not going to have any crime, and they're not going to have any crime in that wonderful city of joy that people go up and down. Right? They're not going to have any crime there. It's amazing. Memphis, Tennessee is another one. The mayor works with us. And, you know, it's nice when they work with us. It's just so much easier. Sometimes we can't work with them. Like in Minnesota, they won't work with us, but we've still driven crime down 25%. If we didn't have to fight this horrible governor and this horrible fake mayor, Fry, you know, this is the Constitution of the United States. People don't want to be mugged. They don't want to have a murderer living next door that was, you know, killed 3 people in a certain country and is now living beautifully here. Because generally speaking, if they've killed in another country, they're not going to be the best of citizens. And they're rough people. Remember in the campaign, I used to say that their criminals make our criminals look like babies. It's true. These are some of the meanest, most vicious people. They only gave us the worst. They don't send, you know, they're very smart. Guys like the president over here, El Salvador. He's sent us a few. I don't want to talk to him about it. But he sends us some real bad ones. He's not, look, you just say it, we'll do it more positive. Isn't it true that you will not send your good people to the United States? Wouldn't you say? Look at him. He doesn't know. He said, what's going on here? But no, he sends bad people to the United States. And I'm going to talk to him after this. But I love him. He's done a great job, right? They're smart people. And they're very streetwise. You know, when you're running.
I will say, though, somebody did make a good point, though. I'm surprised he didn't use this time to actually talk about faith and prayer and try to bring the temperature down some, right? He did not. He used this time to go in, bro. We are 56 minutes into this prayer breakfast, bro, and he have said less than 1% about faith and prayer, if not any, bro. I'm surprised he didn't use this time wisely, bro. This is all over the place. This is bad, man. This is bad.
Some of these countries in South America, Latin America, you got to be streetwise. You got to be smart. He's very smart, very streetwise. But these leaders of those countries, they're not sending. They cherish their good people. They only send us their bad people. But we have done some job, and we have, in Minnesota, crime's down just despite that we have to fight these lunatics over there that are stealing money, by the way, also. I believe it's actually a cover-up of the $19 billion at least that they've stolen. I actually think they do this as a cover-up. Under the Trump administration, we're standing strongly behind Americans of faith, stopping the attacks on our values, our traditions, defending religious liberty, like no president. I believe like no president has ever done before. I do believe that. We got rid of the sinister Johnson Amendment so that pastors can speak the truth and they can speak it without having their tax-exempt status revoked.
What he does is when he want to talk about what he's done for religious people, what he's doing, he'll read from the teleprompter. But when he want to go on a tangent about just bullshit, just shitting this shit, just talking his shit, you know he's not reading no more. He just going in. Random, just talking about random shit. No substance, just going in.
I was with a large group of ministers, pastors, priests, rabbis. We had a group of people that were a great group. And I asked them for help. Paula White was there, remember, Trump Tower at the top of the building, beautiful building. And they were so enthusiastic.
What's up, JC? What's up, brother?
Enthusiastic for the first election. They were so enthusiastic. And I didn't want to be pushy because I'm not a pushy individual. but I didn't want to be overly aggressive, so I figured I'll ask him in the second meeting. So the second meeting came, the similar group of ministers. We had...
Yo, Miss Trekker54 said, I went on the website to compare RX prices for my meds. No different. Were your medicine that you had, that you get, were on that website? She said she saw no difference. Really? Really? Damn.
Muslim leaders there. We had everybody there. But there were about 55 of them. Beautiful boardroom on the top floor, tall building, beautiful building in New York. And I said, I'd like to ask, and they were so good. They, sir, we love you, you're great, blah, blah, blah. I figured this was going to be the easiest endorsement I ever got. And I said, I'd love to have your endorsement. And it was like ice. It was like death. I said, what the hell? What happened? And I said, could I ask what's going on? You were really nice, and now you've just clammed up, and you're like scared. And one of them stood up, that Paula knows very well. He said, sir, we're very concerned because if we speak about religion, if we ever endorsed you as an example, we would lose our tax-exempt status immediately and our church would go out of business. He said, what's that all about? And it was the Johnson Amendment. Lyndon Johnson had a fight with somebody in Dallas or Houston with a minister, and he didn't like him, and they didn't like each other. And the minister thought he was terrible, and I guess he didn't like the minister. And he was a powerful president. He knew how to do things, and he got something passed called the Johnson Amendment, which basically takes away your right of speech. And people like me, and people like a lot of people, they want to hear from ministers. They want to hear from priests. They want to hear from them. And you were restricted from talking about very important things like who to elect. If you said that, you were gone. You couldn't do it, even if you said it in a very nice way, because they were going to be better for the church. And we worked hard, and we're going to make that permanent pretty soon, I think, Mike. But we worked hard at getting rid of the Johnson Amendment. It's gone as far as you can say anything you want. Now, if you do say something bad about Trump, I will change my mind, and I will have your tax-exempt status immediately revoked. If I go into one of these churches, we will stop Trump. You ever hear some of these guys? I said, not too many, I can tell you, because we won like 94% of the vote. People got it. People got it. We had a lot of people pretending. They pretended to be very religious, but I don't believe they were. But the people ultimately got it. You know, you have a Robert Jeffress. I don't know if he's here. Is he here, Robert? Is he here? Robert Jeffress was on television in 2016 when I just sort of announced I was running. And he said, I know every candidate very well. There were 18 candidates, me and 17 others. He said, I know every candidate very well. And I know Trump a little bit. But he may not be as good with the Bible as some of them. He may not have read the Bible as much as some of them. In fact, he may not have ever read the Bible, but he will be a much stronger messenger for us, and he will get things done that no other man has the ability to get done. And I endorse him fully. And I said, you know, that guy, I didn't want to admit anything, but that was very interesting. And I think we've gotten more done, Paula, than anybody could have ever gotten done. What we've done, nobody else would have been able to do. We reinstated also service members who were thrown out of our military over religious objections. That was a big deal. They thrown out over religious objections to vaccine mandates and all of the other things. They used any...
He admits it, yep. These idiots are laughing and clapping so sad. He's never read the Bible. He admitted it. I was just thinking the same thing, Pyramid. I was thinking the same thing. Like, bro, Trump, just admit it, bro. You never read the Bible. Just be real. Just let us know, my boy. If you read the Talmud, it's fine. I don't care. If that's what you read, that's what you read, bro. You don't read the Bible, it's cool.
Excuse they could. We restored those patriots to their former ranks with full pay. We've given them full pay. They were taken advantage of. And I really think it was over religion. I actually think that they use the vaccines as a way of really punishing people over religion. I don't know how you can vote for these people. I really don't. I don't know how you can. We passed the largest ever expansion of school choice so that every parent has a chance to send their child to a school that shares their values. And today I'm also pleased to announce that the Department of Education is officially issuing its new guidance to protect the right to prayer in our public schools. That's a big deal. Now, the Democrats will sue us, but we'll win it. We'll win it. They'll sue us. They sue us for everything. I'm the most sued human being in history. They've sued me for everything.
I'm the most sued.
I got impeached twice over nothing, but the Republicans were great. Just wiped them right out. But I got impeached. I got indicted. Wiped them out. There's never been, there's...
Yo, Bexy, I believe that's your name, Bexy. This was yesterday. This was yesterday evening, I believe. Yesterday morning.
It's never been, to the best of our knowledge, any politician that's ever been indicted who won an election. Very popular politicians got indicted, they lost. I got indicted so much, I got tired of calling my wife. I'd say, darling, I was just indicted again. She said, oh, darling. What? Oh, what does that mean? She's very elegant. You saw that from the movie. She's not into the world of indictments. It's not Melania. Now she doesn't know what an indictment, it's not her deal. Her movie, by the way, big success. That movie is a big success. Yeah, I called up so many times. I'd say, honey, I just got indicted again. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But think of it many times. And then they say, Donald Trump is using the Justice Department to get even. And I don't. But wouldn't I have a right to? Think of it. There's never been in history a president treated like I got treated. But they say, I use it. And it's amazing. I did that interview yesterday, and they said that. They said the question, are you using the Justice Department for your own personal gain? I said, they indicted me 87 times. It's the most incredible thing. But we don't do that, Pam, do we? Huh? We do what's right. We do what's right. And Pam does it. We have great people. We have great people working there.
Yo, sometimes I cannot believe this is our president, bro. And I'm not saying that to be, like, nasty. I'm not saying that to be funny. Like, I'm saying that just, like, really, bro? Like, this is our president. He has no filter, bro. Like, his mannerisms and just how he talks, how he mocks people, how he just imitate, like, these words, like, Yo, I can't believe this is our president, bro. Like, he just, I don't know. He's like ghetto as hell, dog.
But we do what's right. We expanded the Mexico City policy to stop taxpayer dollars from being used to promote radical gender ideology all around the world. No other president would do that. No other president would do it. And my administration also rejoined the Geneva Consensus Declaration to affirm the right to sovereign nations to protect life, defend the family, and to be faithful to God. Nobody ever did that. I signed an executive...
Hold up, the Geneva what? What he said? The Geneva Consensus? What? What he say about that? Y'all heard about that? The Geneva Consensus something.
They indicted me 87 times. It's the most incredible thing. But we don't do that, Pam, do we? Huh? We do what's right. We do what's right. And Pam does it. We have great people. We have great people working there. But we do what's right. We expanded the Mexico City policy to stop taxpayer dollars from being used to promote radical gender ideology all around the world. No other president would do that. No other president would do it. And my administration also rejoined the Geneva Consensus Declaration to affirm the right to sovereign nations to protect life, defend the family, and to be faithful to God. Nobody ever did that. I signed an executive order to slash federal funding for any public school that pushes transgender insanity. This is crazy. On our youth. Who would think about that? Who would think an executive order to slash federal funding for any public school that pushes transgender insanity? This is crazy. On our youth. Who would think about that? Who would think if you go back 15 years, you're talking about, and I stopped the mutilation of children. The mutilation, the word is mutilation. They mutilize, the mutilation of children. I stopped it. Who would think if you said that 15 years ago, they'd say, what the hell is he talking? Is he crazy? It's levels you've never seen. We're still fighting it, but, transgender for everybody. They want transgender for everybody. We stopped it. And we also, very importantly, we got men out of women's sports. It's enough of that nonsense. We created the White House Faith Office, first time ever, which is its 1-year anniversary this month, and headed up with Paul and Jenny and some incredible people. And we created the Presidential Commission on Religious Liberty. We do a lot. That's a great commission, by the way. That's a phenomenal commission. I signed it. Everybody wanted to be on that commission. That was really something.
We ain't got too much long on this interview, y'all. Then we're going to go to that NBC interview. We're going to go to that NBC interview after this, but we don't have too much longer on this prayer breakfast right here. He ain't said a lot about prayer, chat. He have not said a lot about prayer at this prayer breakfast, but we got like 20 minutes left on this.
That was a good sign, too. And we have incredible people on it. I signed an executive order to combat the vile scourge of anti-Semitism, which is really raging, rising. Surprising. Nobody thought they'd see that happen very, very rapidly during the 4 years of Biden. And I set up an official Department of Justice task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias, because you do have a lot of that. They don't talk about that. They're always talking about other religions and other different, but a lot of anti-Christian bias, and you see it going in foreign countries. I mentioned Nigeria. There are others. We're hitting them very hard. My administration is confronting head-on the militant and really intolerant campaign that tried to drive religious believers out of public life and out of society. I mean, religious leader, and now religious leaders are respected as much or more as any leader of any type anywhere in the world. Religious leaders are respected again, and that's the way we have to have it. They really are respected again. They were having a hard time. They were having a very hard time. The last 4 years previous to the one that we served, the last 4 years were brutal on religious leaders. They were brave. Some were very brave. Some couldn't take it, and a lot of people understand it. Some were brave, really brave. The Department of Justice recently charged 9 individuals for storming a church in Minnesota during a worship service and trampling on Americans' First Amendment rights. I watched that tape, and that was violent. I saw the people sitting there, Pam, and they were scared. Some were scared and some were holding up their hands like, I believe in God.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't agree what they did to that church though. I mean, I get that the pastor is some associate with Immigration Custom and Enforcement. I get that, right? But they could have stood outside the church or something and just disrupted the church service and protested outside the church. They did not have to barge in there. They did not have to disrupt those people in church service. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. I'm all about protesting. I'm all about our amendment rights, right? First Amendment rights. But that was wrong. And everybody should know that that was wrong. And Don Lemon, We know that your ass knew what was going on. You tried to go in that church and act like you didn't know what was going on. You tried to play like a journalist, bro, but you knew what was going on, man. They got your ass. They should have got all y'all ass from interrupting those people. I'm sorry, you don't do that. You don't do that, bro.
But they were violent people, screaming, "Your parents are Nazis. Your parents are Nazis." The people sitting away. And I thought the minister was great. He was so calm and good. They're screaming at him, terrible, right in the middle of a church service. It's got to be illegal. I mean, Pam is doing it. I'm not doing it, but Pam is doing it. And I'll tell you, people are happy with the job that's taking place because they're bad people. They're bad people. You have one Trump hater in particular that just, I watched his performance. It was terrible. They try and use freedom of press and all this to get out of a criminal event. But they were, that was a horrible thing to witness. And if we allowed that to go on, you wouldn't be able to have a church. No, everybody would be afraid to go to church. And that we are not going to allow, are we, huh? And in the audience today is an incredible woman who reminds us what a precious gift of religious liberty we have here in America, a tradition that sadly is not.
Jay, I was not at that church, man. What are you talking about, bro? I know you a zombie right now. You just zombieing around, but I was not at that church.
Shared in so many places in the world, and even in our country. And our media is so bad. If we had a good media, it would be so much easier. But think of it, we're doing this all with a really corrupt and bad media. Miriam Ibrahim is a Christian from Sudan, and I'm working hard to end that war. We're very close to getting it done. That'll be number 9. If we don't get Russia, Ukraine first. But we're working hard to end that whole war. We're very close to doing it. We've almost done it. In 2014, a Sharia court in that country sentenced her to 100 lashes and death for marrying a Christian man. At the time, she was 8 months pregnant with a daughter. Miriam was ordered to renounce her faith in Christ, but she refused to do so and gave birth to that daughter, Maya, while she was in shackles, being beaten and living in a condition that nobody in this room would even be able to imagine. Believers all over the planet rallied to Miriam's cause, prayed for her protection, and successfully pressured for her release. I did that. I did that with one phone call, actually. And she had such support. It was so easy. And when I explained it to the powers that be, yes, sir, we will do it right away. I just wish I knew earlier. But it's a big world with a lot of people. Miriam and Maya are here this morning and now live safely in America, where we protect Christians. We don't kill them, we protect them. And you're getting protected better now than you've ever been protected before. So Miriam and Maya, thank you. Where are you? Are they here? They're here someplace. Where are you? Please stand up. Stand up, thank you.
Probably got about 12, 13 more minutes.
That's great. A lot of bravery. No administration in modern history has done more to confront the plight of persecuted Christians around the world.
Somebody said, I hate Trump. Bro, if I hate Trump, I wouldn't be sitting here watching this entire video. Literally watching it with you guys in real time. I have not watched this video yet.
That we have with us, it's a mission. It's actually a mission. On Christmas Day, in close coordination with the government of Nigeria, we worked with them, but they got to get tougher. I ordered powerful airstrikes to decimate the ISIS terrorists who have been slaughtering Christians in that country by the thousands. It's not even believable. We hit them so hard, they still don't know what the hell happened. And we were going to do it on a different day. I said, no, do it on Christmas, so they understand it. Remember, Christmas was, when I ran in 2015, when I announced, I said, we're going to bring back Christmas, because the word Christmas was almost gone, and we did. People use Christmas anymore. We brought back the word Christmas. They didn't want to use it, and we're using it again. But I specifically told Pete, I said, hit him on Christmas Day. Not earlier and not later, right, Pete? And man, did he hit him. So then we hit him again recently. We hit him again pretty hard. But we're honored to be joined today by the First Lady of Nigeria, who also happens to serve as a Christmas Day. Not earlier and not, but I specifically told Pete, I said, hit him on Christmas Day. Not earlier and not later, right, Pete? And man, did he hit him. So then we hit him again recently. We hit him again pretty hard. But we're honored to be joined today by the First Lady of Nigeria, who also happens to serve as a Christian pastor at the largest church in Nigeria, a very respected woman. First Lady, please, where are you? Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Very respected person, too. Thank you. I'm also working tirelessly to end dangerous conflicts and help move past ancient hatreds. In October, I ended the war in Gaza, saving hundreds of thousands of lives. It's amazing. We have peace in the Middle East, by the way. First time in 3,000 years. We have peace. There are little embers, but it's nothing much. You know, we got back the last hostage, dead hostage. We got back all the hostages now, all of them. We got the 20, but we got many. You know, we got hundreds back before that. But we got back the last hostage, dead hostage, and Hamas helped us get it back. It was a big statement. Now they have to disarm. Some people say they won't, but they will. And if they don't, they're going to not be around any longer. But they agreed to disarm. As the Bible tells us, blessed are the peacemakers. That's true. Peacemakers are very important. But you can only have peace, I find, through strength. If you don't have strength, peace is very hard. And we have strength. In 1 year, I've ended 8 raging wars, such as Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran, Armenia and Azerbaijan. These are all wars that were, President Putin called me up on Azerbaijan and Armenia. He said, I've been working 10 years to get that war. How did you do it? And I got it done. I got it done. 2 really good leaders. All they knew was fighting each other. They were fighting each other for many years. That's all they knew. And we got it worked out pretty quickly. A few months ago, right here in Washington, we signed a historic peace agreement between the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, which provides the first ever pathway to peace to end a 30-year, unbelievably violent conflict. And we're joined today.
We're coming to the tail end of this video right here. We're coming to the tail end of this video. Make sure you guys put some love on the live. Put some love on the live, man. Hit that like button, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the show or this video right here. Let me just check something real quick. Okay, cool. We're gonna move on to the NBC interview. We're gonna talk about Nancy Guthrie here in a little bit. We definitely gonna try to get some updates on that. I need to be checking ground news right now to see if there have been any updates. Chat, if y'all got any updates on Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Susan Guthrie, y'all can put it in the chat and let me know. I definitely be checking the chat, so y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what's going on. Alrighty. It's a lot of stuff going on right now. That's the TrumpRX. We already went over TrumpRX. Let's see. Let me find that NBC video real quick. I think this is it. Yep, this is it right here, chat. So we're going to go ahead and get into this next video right here.
On how to add years to your dog's life. Sardines.
9.
Bone broth.
10.
Raw.
And good evening from our nation's capital, where today we sat down exclusively with President Trump at this extremely pivotal moment in his second term. The president making a number of headlines discussing everything from the midterm elections to the economy to his administration's handling of the immigration crackdown. Telling me what he learned from Minneapolis and about where ICE officers could head next. And with the affordability crisis impacting so many Americans right now, you'll hear what he said about when to expect economic relief. I also asked him point blank about this moment with Fed Chair Jerome Powell and if his Justice Department would drop the investigation into Powell. And as the Republican Party faces growing pressure ahead of the midterms, what he said about the possibility of 2028 and the presidential ticket possibly featuring on the Republican side Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Plus, we pressed him on what those FBI agents were looking for when they raided an election office in Georgia. And his warning tonight to Iran's supreme leader after that country's deadly protest crackdown. Also, the surprising response when asked about his relationship with former President Bill Clinton. During our talk, the president pointing out ongoing construction on the White House ballroom, what he said about bulletproof windows and drone-proof ceilings being installed, and if he ever worries about his own safety, plus what he told me about his personal health. But we start with the major breaking news out of Minneapolis tonight. Tom Homan announcing he's pulling hundreds of federal officers out of Minnesota, and that's where our conversation begins.
Okay, let's drill down into the news today. That big change on immigration, 700 officers leaving Minneapolis. Did that come from you?
Yes, it did. But it didn't come from me because I just wanted to do it. We are waiting for them to release prisoners, give us the murderers that they're holding, and all of the bad people, drug dealers, all of the bad people. We allowed in our country, I say 25 million people with an open border policy for 4 years under Biden and that group, the Autopen group, I call them. We allowed to come into our country people the likes of which no country would accept, and we're getting them out. Yeah. But we've gotten a lot of them out. So crime now in Minnesota, crime now in Minneapolis is down. Crime in all cities is down. And you know why it's down? It's down because of us. It's down in Chicago by 25%, despite the fact that we are always dealing with these people, and they happen to be Democrats, that don't know anything about crime prevention.
Mr. President, speaking of Minneapolis, what did you learn?
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. These are criminals. We're dealing with really hard criminals. But look, I've called the people. I've called the governor. I've called the mayor. Spoke to them. Had great conversations.
That's because they took too long to put fucking. They took too long to put proper funding into the training part of immigration, custom, and enforcement. Right? They want to wait till after the fact. They want to wait till people start being unalived and people start being, roughed up, for lack of better words. Right? To start putting more money into these training programs for immigration for ICE. Now he said, I think we need to soften up. I think we need to soften up just a little bit. Come on, man. You should have been on that. Should have been on that, President Trump.
These are criminals. We're dealing with really hard criminals. But look, I've called the people. I've called the governor. I've called the mayor. Spoke to them. Had great conversations with them. And then I see them ranting and raving out there, literally as though a call wasn't made. We've done a great job everywhere. The only place there's been a little inflammation has been really, it's not Minnesota, because we've done well with
Los Angeles, too. There's been others. Yeah.
Well, I saved Los Angeles. The top law enforcement.
Then why are y'all in Minnesota? I don't get that. He literally just said, like, it's not really Minnesota, but then why are y'all, if it's not that much happening in Minnesota, why are y'all focusing so heavy on Minnesota?
Ranting and raving out there, literally as though a call wasn't made. We've done a great job everywhere. The only place there's been a little inflammation has been really, it's not Minnesota, because
somebody said, F the protesters and F you, homeboy. Steve, man, chill out, Steve, man. I don't want to have to get you up out of here, Steve. You ain't got to disrespect me, bro. I ain't did nothing to you, Steve. I'm just chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm watching the interviews for the first time in real time. You ain't got to disrespect me. What I did to you? That's crazy. That's crazy, chat. Use your brain.
Because we've done well with
Los Angeles, too. There's been others. Yeah.
Well, I saved Los Angeles. The top law enforcement officer, right at the beginning of my time when they were having riots, before me and it carried into me. If I didn't go in there with the National Guard, with troops, you would.
Joe, so you dealt with every single Minnesotan. You dealt with everybody. I'm in Minnesota right now. I'm in Minnesota. I'm about 45 miles south, 45, 50 miles south of Minneapolis right now.
Have the Olympics, which I got the Olympics. You wouldn't have the Olympics in Los Angeles. And he said, without the president sending in the troops, we would have lost Los Angeles. Yeah. And you know what? I saved Los Angeles. And we will do it again if we have to. And by the way, we're going to have a very safe Olympics, and we're going to have a very safe World Cup.
Speaking of Minneapolis, after the shooting of Renee Good, you said ICE made some mistakes. What were the mistakes?
Well, look, I'm not happy with the two incidents. It's not, it's both of them, not one or the other. He was not an angel, and she was not an angel. You look at some tapes from back, but still, I'm not happy with what happened there. Nobody could be happy, and ICE wasn't happy either. But I'm going to always be with our great people.
Why is that necessary to be said? What do you mean they weren't an angel, though, Trump? Like, come on, President, sir. What do you mean these people weren't angels? Because they, right? Because they decided to protest federal officers? I mean, do they not have a right to protest? Whether you believe that they were impeding federal officers or what? How can you sit there and say these people weren't angels? What do you mean? So what are they then, Trump? what were these people? Right? Are you implying that? Well, I don't like that they didn't. I'm not saying that they deserve to be unalive, but these people weren't angels though. So I'm not that mad about it. What are you implying, Mr. President? Come on now. I don't give you too much. I don't give Trump a hard time like everybody else do. I don't agree with him on everything. But god damn, bro, how he uses his words is just crazy to me, bro. Yeah, they didn't deserve to be unalive, but they were not angels though.
Not an angel, and she was not an angel. I got the Olympics. You wouldn't have the Olympics in Los Angeles. And he said, without the president sending in the troops, we would have lost Los Angeles. Yeah. And you know what? I saved Los Angeles. And we will do it again if we have to. And by the way, we're going to have a very safe Olympics, and we're going to have a very safe World Cup.
Speaking of Minneapolis, after the shooting of Renee Good, you said ICE made some mistakes. What were the mistakes?
Well, look, I'm not happy.
Oh, Pocket Mormo, according to the most recent Economist YouGov poll, Donald Trump is underwater in his approval rating in Maine by 18 points. Is it Maine or Georgia? You just said Georgia. You just said Georgia earlier. So is it both of them? I want to. I ain't timing nobody out, y'all. I'm letting y'all rock out, man. I haven't timed nobody out this entire live. But just make sure y'all respect the host and make sure y'all respect the chat, But y'all can disagree, do what just don't disrespect me. Y'all hold it together, man. Be adults. Be adults in the chat.
Happy with the two incidents. It's not, it's both of them, not one or the other. He was not an angel, and she was not an angel. You look at some tapes from back, but still, I'm not happy with what happened there. Nobody could be happy, and ICE wasn't happy either. But I'm going to always be with our great people of law enforcement. ICE, police, we have to back them. If we don't back them, we don't have a country. If we don't back them, you're going to end up, look, Washington, D.C. was a very unsafe place to be. You couldn't walk to the White House. You couldn't walk to a restaurant. Restaurants were closing. I inherited not only a mess with the country, I inherited a horrible, very dangerous capital. Do you know Washington, D.C. is now an extremely safe.
Somebody said, did you see the Obama monkey pits Trump shared last night? What are you talking about, Rico? Share it where? Where did he share that at? Where did he share that?
Place. You see what happened. You're here a lot.
When you mentioned Renee
Good,
let
me ask you, Tom,
yeah.
You're here a lot.
Yeah.
Would you have walked down the street a year and a half ago with your family? No. But today you can, and nothing's going to happen.
You mentioned Renee Good and Alex Peretti not being angels. Do you think any of that justified what happened to them, though?
No, I don't. It should have not happened. It was a very sad, to me, it was a very sad incident, two incidents. And, you know, they mentioned the one now, they don't mention the other. Well, I think they were both sad. And, you know who feels worse about it than anybody? The people of ICE. They're strong, tough people. And they have to be tough because we're dealing with hardened criminals. Right. We're dealing with people, you know, jails have been emptied into our country from all over the world, from Venezuela, where we had great success, you will admit, but from Venezuela, from the Congo in Africa, from all over the world. Jails, the jail population was emptied into our country. If we don't have strong people, you're not getting them out. And we're getting them out. Remember this, again, I say it again and again, we have record low crime in the United States. Nobody's been able to say that for 125 years.
So I want to be clear, because it sounds like there is a shift in immigration enforcement here, that there's going to be a shift after Minneapolis. What should Americans expect going forward?
Well, one thing I say to my people, you know, we do a good job, we don't get credit for it. I say they have to ask and they have to say please. When a city is going,
who has to ask and who has to say please?
The mayor or the governor. I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. Like, for instance, I got a call from Jeff Landry, governor of Louisiana. He said, we have a big problem. Could you go in and help us with well, let's see, certain sections. I mean, to be honest with you, certain sections of the state, beyond their famous, beautiful city, certain sections of the state. We have done, not only in New Orleans, we've done a really great job in Louisiana, but I was called. I want to be called. Chicago, we could solve the Chicago crime.
Well, on that question, which cities are you headed to next?
We have 5 cities that we're looking at very strongly, but we want to be invited. We will sometimes call the governors. And
are they cities like Chicago, Philadelphia? Are these the cities?
We could straighten out the crime in Chicago. We've already brought it down 25% just by being there. We could have Chicago be a safe city, just like D.C. is a safe city, just like all of these places that we've gone to. And I look forward. You know, I didn't campaign on that. I campaigned on law and order, but I didn't think I'd be going into individual cities and making them safe.
Anything else you can tell us about the 5 cities? The 5 cities, anything else? So Americans are ready?
We'll be announcing them very quickly, but we could do something. As an example, I was called by people. San Francisco said, please, we have a Democrat mayor. He's trying very hard. Would you, friends of mine that live there, it's got crime problems. Would you let him do the job and not come in? Let's see how it works. I said, look, I can do it much quicker, much faster. Don't forget, we remove criminals. We took over 2,000 hardcore criminals out of Washington, D.C. If we didn't do that, 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. Think of that, 2%. So you have a criminal, because it's over and over again, 2% create 90% of the crime. We took out 2,000 people, more than 2,000 people out of Washington, D.C., and we now have a safe city.
You, as I mentioned,
DC safe, y'all. Who in DC right now? Put a 1 in the chat if you in DC. Is this safe in DC right now, like he's saying it is? Let me know. He said that the crime is down lower in DC. Anybody in DC? Y'all let me know.
You've had success on immigration. Illegal border crossings are at historic lows, right?
You know, it's so nice that you said that.
But if you look at
Tom, what you just said.
It's true.
No, but it's so nice. I hope you air it. It's so nice what you said, because that's called good reporting. That's called fair reporting. Now give me the second part.
Now let me give you the second part of the question. But if you look at the polls, most Americans say they don't like how you've handled immigration, right? Especially what's happened in Minneapolis. How do you change their minds?
Well, I don't believe the polls, for one thing, because how can you not I saw a poll on the border where I'm at 55%, okay?
The polls show that Americans aren't against the deportations. It's the handling of immigration.
You know, polls, it depends on the way you ask the question. I saw a poll on the border, I'm at 55%. Well, how can I only be at 55% when everybody agrees that the border is totally, beautifully closed and nobody's coming in unless they come in legally, et cetera. It couldn't be better. I should be at 100%. I don't believe the polls. And some polls, I mean, I could show you polls where I'm polling at 69% popularity, and some polls where I have one at
we'll ask the White House to share that with us.
71%. And then I have polls where I'm at 44% and 42%. the polls are almost dishonest, almost as dishonest as some of the reporters themselves.
Yeah.
But I'm getting very good polls. I'm getting very good polls on crime prevention, on law and order, and on the border. I have to. And I'm starting to get great polls on the economy, which I think
the
is
polls
our
on the
biggest
economy
success.
they're not great.
They should be great.
They should be. So why aren't they? If you believe that,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look, I've got
Americans tell us we hear that.
I got great polls on the economy. No. You actually don't have great polls on the economy. President. You don't have great polls on the economy. Well, I should have great polls on the economy. You can't make this shit up, bro. Yo, I'm telling y'all, he'll sit there and say a whole bunch of shit. If you don't check him, if you check him, he'll tell the truth. But if you sit there and let him talk, boy, he'll say a whole bunch of word salad all day.
I mean, we're going to get into the economy later, but I mean, they tell us they don't feel it.
Just so you understand. I have $18 trillion being invested into the country. Biden had less than $1 trillion for 4 years, and the whole country was going to credit.
When does America feel it?
Do you know that if they won that election, and we won in a landslide, do you know if they won that election, this country I think it was finished. I actually think it was finished. You would have had people, instead of 18 coming in, 18 trillion, you would have had $10 trillion leaving. I think our country, I think we would have been Venezuela on steroids.
I have a question about immigration still looking forward now. Your goal during the election was to deport everyone who came here illegally under President Biden. Is your mission now to deport everyone who came in illegally or just people who have come in illegally who have also committed additional crimes?
We are totally focused on criminals, really bad criminals. Now, you could say people that came in illegally are criminals, but I'm talking about murderers from different countries. We have 11,888 murderers that Biden and his group led into our country. We've captured a lot of them. We've brought some of them back. A lot of them we don't want to bring back because we don't trust the country that they're not sent back again. Despite how strong the borders are, they'll figure a way to try and get in, and we don't want to, and we'll incarcerate them. But 11,800.
Wait, is he saying that people are still getting through with his wall up illegally? Is that what he just said, chat? Is he telling us that he built this wall and people are still getting through? No way, Trump. No way people are still getting through illegally. No fucking way. Not with that big, beautiful wall.
Bring back because we don't trust the country that they're not sent back again. Despite how strong the borders are, they'll figure a way to try and get in, and we don't want to, and we'll incarcerate them. But 11,888 murders. We are after those people. We're after the drug dealers. We're after by the way, a big problem. They allowed to come into our country people from their mental institutions, people from insane asylums that are mentally ill and very dangerous. We're getting them out.
Make lunch with me while I tell you all the things I do not do with my money and why you might be struggling because of that. The first thing that shocks a lot of people for some reason.
Joe Rogan.
I don't know. I don't think him and Tom Homan are on the same page, honestly. I don't think him and Tom Homan are on the same page. I don't think him and Kristi Noem are on the same page. Because the way he answered this question about, are you only focused on the criminals of the illegal immigrants, or you focus on all of the illegal immigrants? And the way he just layered it out, the way he explained it is Trump only focus right now is on the criminals, the worst of the worst, the bad people. That's all he focused on. But when it comes to Tom Homan and the rest of them, whoever they run into, whoever ICE run into that might look like an illegal immigrant, they focus on that. It seems like they ain't on the same page with this. I don't know. Could that be intentional though? Could they be? I don't know if that's intentional. I don't want to reach like that. Y'all let me know.
Was one of your biggest endorsers in 2024. He said he understands that the president's sort of plan to deport people here who are here illegally, but he also understands why critics compare ICE officers to the Gestapo asking people for their papers. What's your response to him?
Well, look, first of all, he's a great guy. We had a tremendous success before the election. I think it was his biggest interview ever, and over
24. He said he understands that the president's sort of plan to deport people here who are here illegally, but he also understands why critics compare ICE officers to the Gestapo asking people for their papers. What's your response to him?
Well, look, first of all, he's a great guy. We had a tremendous success before the election. I think it was his biggest interview ever, and over 300 million people. It was very good. She didn't want to do it, you know. She decided not to do it because she's not capable. But I spoke to him 3 days ago. We had a great conversation. And all I'm doing, I have to keep.
Did he mention this to you? Did you guys talk about this, the ICE enforcement?
Yeah. Just had a good conversation. I think he's a great guy, and I think he likes me too.
Yeah.
And, you know, liking me isn't important. What happens is that I think we do a phenomenal job, but I don't think we're good at public relations.
What does that mean? You've said that a couple times now. What do you mean by that?
We don't sell the great job that we're doing. Look, we have the safest country.
Is that your staff? Are those your staffers?
Excuse me, people from your persuasion, somewhat left, to a job on numbers. It just came out that in 125 years, we have the safest country. The best crime numbers since the year 1900.
Yeah. That's a stat. Yeah, we know
that
it's
was
true.
Way before my father was born.
Right.
Think of that. And yet, then you talk about crime, or you talk about this, or you talk about that, and the poll numbers aren't that good. People, we don't do a good public relations job. That's why I'm doing the interview with you today.
We appreciate
I'm trying to help my people. You know, PR, public relations.
Speaking of your people, you're never afraid to shake up your team. You've said that you're okay with shaking up your team. Do you still believe in Kristi Noem to deliver on your vision of immigration?
Look, she was in charge of the border. The border's closed. I mean, everybody gives me A+ on the border. The border was a disaster. People were pouring into our country.
But what about the
They
enforcement?
don't even try and come up now. You know the beautiful thing? The caravans. I think I came up with that name. Thousands of people, 25, 30,000 people in a group. You know who sent them? Their countries. They sent the people that they didn't want. Not only criminals, people that didn't.
Somebody said, are you a paid influencer, Dom? No, I'm not. I'm not a paid influencer. No, I'm not. I just love what I do. I just love reacting to this and talking about, listening to it in real time with you guys. I love keeping up with what's going on. Why can't I just love that? Why I got to be a paid influencer? No. To answer your question, no, I'm not.
Didn't want to work hard, etc. They know who it is. They sent them into our country. We have nobody coming in anymore. We have very good. You just asked me, Kristi, we have the best crime numbers that we've had in 125 years. I think she's doing a very good job. Again, public relations. She's not getting credit for the job that she does.
Let's move to the economy now.
And excuse me, what is sad, though, and it is, we had the two primary incidents in Minnesota. So,
and you shook up leadership there. You brought Tom Homan in.
Yeah, I did. And Tom is great. Tom is a superstar. But you do thousands of arrests. You arrest thousands of rapists. You arrest thousands of the worst people. You arrest the drug dealers. I mean, we had drug kingpins. We had murderers. Thousands. No incident. We bring them back to their country. Two people. It's bad. I hate it. I hate even talking about it. Two people out of tens of thousands, okay? And you get bad publicity. Nobody talks about all of the murderers that were taken out of our country. They don't talk about...
but it was two Americans.
They don't talk about we have the smallest drugs.
Anyways, chat, we went over a lot today, guys. We covered President Trump RX website. We covered that. For those of you who wasn't here earlier, we already covered that. We just got done covering the prayer breakfast. He talked at the prayer. It was crazy because he didn't really talk about prayer and faith that much at the prayer breakfast. So we talked about a lot with Trump, and we talked about his website right here. I went to his website, showed you guys the medicine, and some people were saying that some of the prices are still the same, right, for their medication. We had people come here and confess that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready to close out, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about this really quick. Let me go over here because I wanted to talk about Nancy, see if they had some updates on Miss Nancy Guthrie. So I do want to see if they got some updates on Nancy Guthrie really quick. Let me see real quick. Where is my playlist at? There we go.
That's the sound of
I want to see what they're talking about with her. Y'all let me know if y'all heard anything.
Breaking news, we have new video from Cameron Guthrie, the brother of Savannah Guthrie, with the plea to whomever has their mother, Nancy.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Now, y'all see the brother, y'all see the family is releasing a video now. That's because yesterday the FBI, I don't know if it's the FBI director of Phoenix, but he basically put out in the press conference yesterday, right? They arrest they made an arrest for somebody that made a false ransom. Look, guys, don't be out here putting in false ransom notes. Don't be doing that, because the FBI is going to come after you if they find out that you calling in, giving them fake information, trying to get reward money or something like that. They will come and arrest you so fast, bro. So don't be doing that. But yesterday, the FBI director in Phoenix, I can't remember his name, he basically said they haven't heard anything. They don't have anything on. They don't have a primary suspect or anything like that. But if the family hear anything from anybody holding the grandmother hostage or anything like that, and they want to talk to the family, they're basically leaving any decision up to the family. They're not making any decisions for the family. They're not negotiating on behalf of the family. The family are the ones who, that's why the brother is speaking up right here, right now. The grandson, rather.
Nancy.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
And that is Savannah's brother, Cameron.
Now, this came out last night, but I don't know. I haven't checked my my sources yet. U.S. arrest Benghazi suspect, Bundy says. Okay, let me see what's going on. Have we heard anything else? Federal deployment of immigration sparks tension, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we still haven't got any major updates on that yet. So we're just going to go back to this.
Cameron Guthrie, he is a former Air Force pilot. He served 26 years with the Vermont Air National Guard. He retired from the Air Force 7 years ago. This is the first time that we have heard from him. We have new details from law enforcement about the potential ransom note, but there are still no suspects. CBS correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti has the latest.
Disturbing new details about the ransom note. The FBI confirmed there were 2 deadlines and say they are taking the note seriously.
Did make a demand for 5 p.m. today, and if a transfer wasn't made, then I think a second demand was for next Monday.
It's unclear what the exact terms of the deadlines are. We pressed officials about its authenticity.
But not everyone is presented to the family. Why this one?
Because this was the ransom that came in, and it had facts associated with a deadline, with a monetary value they were asking for.
And
so
what were some of those facts, if you can, because there's been a lot of speculation, as you know, if you could set the record straight.
Yeah, the ransom itself, one talked about an Apple Watch, and one talked about a floodlight.
Nobody enters my room without me knowing, and here's why. Bet you can't even spot it, can you? Let me show you. Right here is a tiny hidden spy.
The sheriff released an updated timeline showing that Nancy Guthrie arrived home Saturday night at 9:48 p.m. The garage door closing 2 minutes later. At 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects movement, but it wasn't recorded. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker disconnects from her phone. At 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy. There is now growing desperation and mounting heartbreak.
Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman.
Last night, Savannah Guthrie, her sister Annie, and brother Cameron responded to the ransom note, making a gut-wrenching plea.
We need to know without a doubt that she is alive and that you have her.
Authorities now say that DNA has revealed that bloodstains found outside the home belong to Guthrie. Potentially hampering investigators, Nancy Guthrie's home is in a hilly and rugged community with homes nestled well away from main streets. The isolation is clearly visible. Home security cameras from neighbors may not be able to see movement. Clues and suspects could vanish undetected. The sheriff says investigators can.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, chat. I ain't gonna lie, Chad. This lady might be in Mexico somewhere, bro. Allegedly, she might. I'm not saying that she is. I'm just saying the way it's set up, where she live at in Arizona, in the damn desert, basically, out in the middle of nowhere, far away from civilization. Yo, she might be gone, bro. She might be gone. I'm not saying she's unalived. I'm saying she might be in Mexico somewhere. I hope they find her, but she might not even be in the country, bro.
Continue to canvass the area looking for additional leads.
Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
That's right.
Jonathan Bigliotti, CBS News, Tucson, Arizona.
Former FBI Special Agent Jeff Harp joining me now live to talk more about this. Jeff, the family clearly trying to establish a line of communication with whoever took Nancy Guthrie. What might investigators and negotiators...
My bad, Jeanette. Jeanette, I see your comment. I had to go back up in the comments real quick. I'm guessing that she probably unalive during a botched robbery, not really a kidnapping. What do you think? It's definitely a well, no, it's not a robbery though. It's not a robbery. It's a kidnapping because they said that the suspects, I mean, they knew who they was going to get, Jeanette. They knew who they wanted. They came and got the lady. They didn't take anything significant of value in the house, right? If this was a robbery, why was all of the valued stuff, the valued items still in the house? No, they wanted that lady and they came in there and they went in there and got her. This was a kidnapping. That's my opinion.
Negotiators be doing right now to try to open up that conversation?
Well, first of all, this heart-wrenching case, like every single kidnapping, it just, jerks at everybody's heartstrings. I know that I've actually talked to some of the investigators, and I've talked to other folks that have been involved in this sort of thing. And right now they are dissecting absolutely every piece of forensic, digital forensics, physical forensics that they have to try to come up with a possible suspect in the case. I know that negotiators doing everything they can to validate probably these ransom notes, and we obviously saw the person that asked for the Bitcoin has been arrested in LA. So there's a lot of hoaxes out there, and these are the things that they're going to have to try to overcome. I think one of the really sort of interesting things that when I first saw this was how quickly they released that crime scene.
So that's the timeline right there, the disappearance timeline. February the 1st, 1:47 a.m. You got to think, if you guys really looked at the layout of her house and where she lives, bro, at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, it's probably pitch dark outside. I mean, pitch dark. It's probably where she live at. It's gonna be hard to find out where they came from, where they went to. It's gonna be hard, man. 1:47 a.m. doorbell camera disconnects. 2:12 a.m. software detects person on camera. No video available. No subscription. And that's another thing. She had I don't know if it was the Ring camera or whatever she had in the house on the outside. She didn't have the damn subscription set up for it. She just had a camera up, right? This lady rich as hell. She got plenty of money. Why the hell she ain't got no subscription for her door camera? Why she ain't got the cameras on, right? Then again, she's probably dealing with some professionals. 2:28 a.m. pacemaker app shows disconnect from the phone. They disconnected the pacemaker app. Lord have mercy.
And obviously they've gone back and resecured it because there are, very, very small bits of information and evidence that they can collect, but you have to maintain a very sterile crime scene in order to do that.
Yes, and the crime scene's been opened up again. The tape has been taken down.
Here's
Eddie. This is Susan. This is Nancy Guthrie. She's the mother of NBC News anchor, co-anchor Susan. Is it Susan?
something most drivers don't know. The older your car, the cheaper your insurance should be. If your vehicle was made before.
We know that there is a strategy behind these statements. We're hearing from the Guthrie family. We've heard from Savannah. We've heard from her sister and now her brother. Listening to that video from Cameron today, what stands out to you about the message that he sends and the family sends, and maybe what hostage negotiators are trying to send?
They need contact with somebody. I think that's the biggest thing that needs to happen here. Any of the cases that I was ever involved in, whether it were hostages or the negotiators were around, there has to be some line of communication. And right now, we don't really have anything. And once they get that line of communication established, they can at least start to go down the road of, proof of life or something that at least shows that her mother is still alive and well. And I think that's the biggest concern right now. Is she safe? Is she alive and well?
So right now, tonight, we've heard from the family twice. Yesterday from Savannah, today a new message. What's happening in the hours leading into the night and into the weekend? What are investigators doing? What should the family be doing? Kind of give us a glimpse into that sort of thing.
There's going to be no stone unturned, and they're going to go back through.
Eddie said, why should we care? We should care because this is an American citizen, 84 years old lady that was kidnapped from her home, right? And taken for ransom. Somebody left a ransom note to the local news outlet on what they should do to get her back. What if this is your grandmother? What if somebody go in your grandmother's house and take her out the house? That's why we should care. All right? That's why we should care, because people are out here being kidnapped, taken for ransom. 2026 already starting off. They taking 84-year-olds. They taking senior citizens out of their homes. They coming for them. That's why we should care. Why shouldn't you care? Are you that type of person? You don't care about shit? But your damn self?
Through the evidence, everything that they've already looked at. There's also
What's up, Lee?
Also some very sophisticated cellular technology that the FBI can use to sort of pinpoint people that were in the area. But without giving away, everything that happens, they certainly will look at a lot of cell phone data, and then they can start narrowing down who is in the area. But it doesn't mean that somebody that was there didn't put their phone in airplane mode or didn't turn their phone off, so it's not pinging on a cell tower. These people are not stupid, and it's just obvious to me. This is not a random situation. They either had been to the house several times. They knew this person. They knew the family. They knew sort of the layout of the house. They knew there was a Ring camera there. So I think once we start narrowing this down, you will know more information. I think the sheriff there, obviously, they have more information than they're telling us. That's SOP. They don't release everything. They just can't.
Yeah, and quite clearly those messages were vetted and every single word had its own purpose and message to whomever's out there. Before we go, I wanted to ask you about those cameras, because in this age of
I think it's somebody close to the family. That's what I was thinking initially. I think it might be somebody close to the family, or this is just a really professional job. But it's like, for what reason though? Like, why? I don't know. It don't make sense for somebody to be a professional and just randomly kidnap an old lady, 84 years old, but they don't take anything of value from the house. They don't want anything, right? They're not demanding much. So that's why that part don't make sense to me, but it would make sense for somebody who might be beefing with the family, somebody who might be at odds with the family or something like that. I don't know.
technology, you would think that we'd be able to recall some of that video, and we're learning that she didn't have a subscription. Note to self to anyone who has an older parent now. I mean, I thought that would be kind of out there in the cloud, and apparently it is not.
No, I mean, obviously you have to keep up the subscription. I tell people, I do this for a living, and I tell people, hey, you've got to make sure your credit card doesn't expire, because simple things like that will cancel the subscription. And, all that information, once you're subscribed, is stored up in the cloud. And the services are relatively cheap. And for what you get out of it, it's very significant that you keep that up to date.
All right, Jeff Harp, appreciate your insight.
I thought since day one is someone in the family. Yeah, right, Trent, for real.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure thing.
The government is banning these $29 adaptive glasses next month, and this is your last shot to get the original military.
We're joined now by former FBI agent Catherine Schweit, who remarkably has experience on similar kidnapping cases and can help us with some insight into what we learned today. Kate, thank you very much for joining us right now. This first bit of information that I found remarkable was in the potential ransom note. There are two deadlines, one for later tonight, another for Monday if tonight's is not met. What do you make of that?
It could be something as simple as just deadlines on and limits on accounts, cryptocurrency, or funds being moved. There might be limits, or there might be concerns that if this amount is transferred, or somebody might not have the ability to move that amount. It might be coming from different accounts. So I think we don't know for sure, because this is an unusual request.
It is an unusual request, and it's such an unusual case because it was clear today at the press conference that authorities don't feel they have proof of life. And then in the emotional video from the Guthrie family, they were asking the potential abductor to demonstrate that they have their mom and that she is okay. How does this normally work? Is it unusual for this to be so vague?
It is, and that's part of the struggle, right? You're working with a one-way communication here, and the family needs proof of life. They need to know that this person is still alive, because there are people who will commit fraud and simply ask for money, and then you transfer money to someplace.
Somebody said it earlier, man. The sheriff, the law enforcement, they know more than what they telling us. They know something, right? Because there's no way that someone would leave a ransom note but not leave a way for law enforcement to contact them about the ransom note. So they got to be in communication with whoever it is that they're dealing with. They know something. They know more than what they're telling us, for sure. They know more than what they're telling the family.
And it goes and that person disappears, and you have nothing, no indication that you have your person yet. So you need to know that you're really dealing with a person who has her and is willing to bring her home.
Kate, we also learned today a better sense of the timeline early Sunday morning. There's a moment when the doorbell camera is disconnected, another moment when apparently somebody might have been there at the door. That's not confirmed. What do you make of that? Is there any lead there and anything that gives you hope that this could come to a peaceful resolution?
Yes, the timeline helps us to see, it helps law enforcement to match things. They might have information about a car that drove by. That timeline on the Ring camera disappearing might be relevant, right? That's how you connect those things together. And as far as hopefulness, let me tell you, I will say that the case that I worked maybe 23 years ago this very week, we had an 88-year-old woman who was kidnapped from her home in the middle of the night. And 5 days later, she was returned home to her family, healthy and alive.
We are hoping for that result here as well. Wow. Kate, thank you very much.
Chip Massey joins me now. He's a retired FBI hostage negotiator. Chip, before we get to the video, how unusual is it for the first deadline in a ransom note that law enforcement is taking seriously is fast approaching, and communication to our knowledge has not been made with any alleged captors?
Yeah, again, I think the key word there is not to our knowledge. We don't know what's transpired, between the family, law enforcement, and the kidnappers.
Said right. I could tell that when the sheriff and FBI was talking yesterday, they have a way of contacting the people fast.
But there's got to be something in place. There's something that is telling them, we have to read this statement. We want to communicate with the kidnappers. We want them to know that this is a loved person of our family.
I mean, this video is so heart-wrenching for everybody in this unimaginable situation. What did you pick up on from what they said, what they didn't see, what they didn't say, who they're talking to?
Yeah, it's a great point. What's key here is how...
We're going to come back to this story, Chad. We're going to come back to this story real quick. I want to talk about this. This is a quick sidebar for you guys out there in relationships, you women and you men out there in relationships. This is a quick sidebar. DHS warned. They put this message out. When was this? They put this message out yesterday, I believe. Let me see. They put this message out, this article out. Homeland Security, DHS warns of increasing trend in domestic partner poisoning. All right. So you guys out there, you guys out there putting your hand on your woman, you women out there putting your hand on your men, you better stop, because the DHS got a message for it, y'all. So they put this out yesterday. Domestic partners are increasingly likely to use chemical and biological toxins to unalive or harm their partners. A trend so alarming that the Department of Homeland Security issued a warning to law enforcement. The warning came in a January intelligence note obtained by ABC News that said people intent on harming or unaliving their domestic partners are turning to poison like cyanide and ricin to do it, which are often sourced from online black markets or made at home. The use of chemicals and biological toxins in domestic violence cases poses a significant challenge for detection and prosecution due to the often subtle and delayed onset of symptoms, the intelligent note said. The document highlighted, as an example, the case of a Colorado dentist convicted of first-degree unaliving last year after gradually poisoning his wife with a mix of arsenic, cyanide, and some type of drosaline, tetrahydrosaline. The latter, a medication commonly found in over-the-counter eye drop. Okay, that's what that is. So the dentist secretly dosed his wife by adding the poison to her protein shakes. Wow. According to prosecutors, resulting in her being hospitalized 3 times in a 10-day span, and then gave her a fatal dose of cyanide while she was ill in the hospital, chat. In the hospital. Wow. So incidents using chemical or biological toxins to harm or kill are driven by several factors, including accessibility of online information, ease of obtaining certain chemicals, and perceived difficulties in detection, the DHS note said. It also listed an additional 16 cases in the United States since 2019 in which individuals were accused or convicted of poisoning current or former spouses, domestic or romantic partners, or family members, 10 of which resulted in victims' death. Substances most often used in domestic poisoning incidents are antifreeze, eye drops, the synthetic opioids, fentanyl, and the prescription medication colchicine, as well as cyanide and the chemical element thallium, according to the note. These substances are often chosen for their ability to mimic natural illnesses, complicating detection and investigation, the note said. If the trend of using chemical or biological toxins to unalive or harm continues, we may see an increase in fatality and long-term health consequences among survivors, as well as an increase in the need for specialized training and equipment for first responders, according to DHS note. Lastly, the recurring use of these toxins by domestic partners highlight the need for more awareness, regulation, and forensic expertise to address this trend in domestic partner violence. Let me know what y'all think about that down in the chat, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about that down in the chat.
Savannah starts that.
Yo, they crime, blah, 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 blah. I don't think y'all heard anything I just read. Y'all still going in. What's going on, y'all? Interesting. Okay. And what I see is people being mistreated and murdered by. Okay. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. All right. I'm just trying to see if y'all was commenting on that article right there I just read. Boy, y'all going in on the debates right now. A dentist did this, none of your business? Yes, a dentist did. Google what Social Security is in Mexico. Hell yeah, Dom. Okay, I just wanted to make sure y'all was with me, man. Y'all going in the chat. Y'all doing y'all thing, but I wanted to make sure y'all was with me on that article that I read concerning what DHS was warning about, their concerns about the future of these domestic partnerships. Anyways, also, here's another side note right here. Oregon, Washington, and tribes head back to court after Donald Trump pulls out of the deal to recover salmon. Now, do y'all say salmon or do y'all say salmon? Do y'all say salmon or do y'all say salmon? Y'all let me know in the chat. I say salmon, all right? But I wanted to make sure how some people say it different. I say salmon. Anyways, lawyers for conservation groups, Native American tribes, and the state of Oregon and Washington are returning to court Friday to seek changes to dam operations on the Snake and Columbia rivers following the collapse of a landmark agreement with the federal government to help recover critical imperiled salmon runs. So y'all say salmon, salmon, salmon. We with you, my bad. Okay, salmon. Cool, cool, cool. So they say salmon. All right, so they got a problem in Oregon right now. They got a problem in Washington State. They got a problem with salmon right now. The tribes, the Native American tribes, are not happy what they're doing right now with this dam that they're building. All right, President Donald Trump last year torpedoed, I think that's the word, torpedoed, the 2023 deal in which the Biden administration had promised to spend $1 billion over a decade, $1 billion over a decade to help restore salmon while also boosting tribal clean energy projects. The White House called it radical environmentalism that could have resulted in the breaching of 4 controversial dams on the Snake River. The plaintiff argued that the way the government operates the dams violates the Endangered Species Act. They're asking the court to order changes at 8 large hydropower dams, including lowering reservoirs' water levels, which can help fish travel through them faster, and increasing spills, which can help juvenile fish pass over dams instead of through turbines. So the turbines are killing the fish. That's what's happening. Killing the salmon. It says in court, the L is silent, so y'all say salmon. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, cool. In court filings, the federal government called the request a sweeping scheme to wrest control of the dams that would compromise the ability to operate them safely and efficiently. Any sort of court order could also raise rates for utility customers, the government said. All right. So we're returning to court because the situation for the salmon and the steelhead in the Columbia River Basin is dire, said Kristen Boyles, managing attorney with Earth Justice, a nonprofit law firm representing conservation, clean energy, and fishing groups in the litigation. There are populations that are on the brink of extinction, and this is a species in which is the center of Northwest tribal life identity. All right. The lengthy legal battle was revived after Trump pulled the United States out of the resilient Colombian Basin Agreement last June. The pact with Washington, Oregon, and 4 Native American tribes had allowed for a pause in the litigation. So the plaintiff, which include the state of Oregon and a coalition of conservation and fishing groups such as the National Wildlife Federation, filed a motion for a preliminary injunction with Washington State, the Nez Perce tribe, and the Yakima Nation, supporting it as friends of the court. The U.S. District Court in Portland will hear the oral arguments. The Columbia River Basin, spanning an area roughly the size of Texas, was once the world's greatest salmon-producing river system. with at least 16 stocks of salmon and steelhead. Today, 4 are extinct and 7 are endangered or threatened. Another iconic but endangered northwest species, a population of killer whales, also depends on the salmon. All right. So the construction of the first dams in the Columbia River, including the Grand Coulee and the Bonneville in the 1930s, provided jobs during the Great Depression as well as hydropower and navigation. They made the town of Lewiston, Idaho, the most inland seaport on the West Coast, and many farmers continue to rely on barges to ship their crops. All right, so they got a whole thing going on there. I just wanted to bring that in, what's going on. However, the dams are also a main culprit behind the decline of salmon, which regional tribes consider part of their cultural and spiritual identity. All right. So I just want to bring some attention to that. That's all. That's just a quick side note. Y'all can read into that later. You can find that on Associated Press. They got the most facts on this story per Ground News. So you guys can go read that right there. Alrighty. Anyhow, children of unlawful blah 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 blah. Pick a lane, Joe. Pick a lane, pick a lane, pick a lane. J Don, what's up? J Don in the building. Lisa, what's up, Lisa? What's going on? My bad, I wasn't paying attention to the chat. My bad, y'all. Good morning to everybody. Says get a degree in spiritual warfare. Since he took office, my asthma medication stopped being covered. Now $700 a month, and my son's emergency seizure medication not covered, $2,300 a month. He has not helped our family at all. Lisa, I'm sorry to hear that. I am sorry to hear that, Lisa. Do you know, Lisa? I don't know if you're still here, but are any of those medications on his new website that he just put out there that you guys need for his seizures and things of that nature, and your asthma medication? Lisa, I don't know if you're still here or not. River rafting capital of the world in Idaho, really? That's pretty cool. I've never been to Idaho yet. Yo, chat, let me know where y'all at in the chat. Everybody let me know where y'all at. Where y'all located in the chat. Everybody put where you are. What state, what country. What state, what country. You don't have to put the city. Just put what state or what country. Let me know. Chicago in the building. Washington, D.C. in the building. Stacy, I didn't even know you was here, Stacy. Illinois. Chicago. Louisiana. Our government is a joke. Idaho. Rigby, Idaho. Okay, okay. Nice, nice, nice. Minnesota in the building. Yep. I'm in Minnesota right now. Jeanette, sometimes the drug companies will give you a discount on medication if you require it. Okay. Hope everybody doing well. Y'all, we've been live for a while. Stacy, you always come in on the tail end of the live. I don't know. You be coming in on the tail end of the live. Like we ain't even somebody teach this president some math. Oh, she behind. She behind on the chat. She behind on the chat. Okay. All right. Anyway, y'all, we getting ready to wind down. We didn't even really get into everything today. Let me see. Do I want to get into that? Mm. Oh, I did want to do this quick video right here. This video is from Adam Kinzinger. Anybody know Adam Kinzinger? I did want to get into this video because he said he had some words for Donald Trump. Apparently, I guess Donald Trump came after him. He's a former Republican. senator or something like that. But I don't know. Anyways, hope everybody doing well. We're gonna do this last video right here. This guy right here has some words for Donald Trump. He has some words for Donald Trump. He is not happy with what Donald Trump is doing right now. And so this is Adam Kinzinger. I'm gonna let him speak his piece, man, y'all.
Capitalism was never designed to help you thrive. It was designed to keep you exhausted. I hate that capitalism creates a hierarchy of worth, where essential workers can't afford.
I just want to address something and be very clear. So Donald Trump, the article came out talking about the Department of Justice had this like weaponization of the DOJ committee where they were going to go after all of Donald Trump's enemies. And nothing's happened because honestly, they can't find anything. But now article came out that said they're going to meet daily and figure out how to go back at Trump's enemies. I want to be very clear about something from my end. I am the opposite of intimidated by you. Doesn't concern me. It doesn't worry me because honestly, I know I've done nothing except do the best I can to uphold the Constitution of the United States. And I know that history will make you look like a chump, Donald Trump. And I really believe that someday the last name Trump will be like calling somebody Benedict Arnold. You're a Trump. And oh, dude, come on. Those are fighting words. Don't call me a Trump.
Damn.
I think you will end up, they will erase you as much as possible from the history books. Yes, your name will be under the 45th and 47th president, but that's like it. Like skipped over. They're going to be like, hey, America was drunk. Yeah, we did this thing. But kids, then the 48th president came along and everything was better because this guy's a complete clown face. So Donald Trump has been threatening people because he got indicted and honestly should have been put in jail for both protecting classified documents, keeping classified documents, and obviously his attempt to overthrow the government. Let's talk about the classified documents just really quickly. The DOJ and the FBI had repeatedly been trying to get Donald Trump to turn those documents over. They knew we had them. They politely are like, hey, we need those back. No. Okay, well, just so you know, you don't get to keep. No. And he even said at one point, if I think about something to be declassified, it's declassified, which I'm sorry, it's not how it works. So they tried for a year and finally they had to execute a search warrant and get it. In his bathroom, by the way. So this stuff was like just kind of out there in the open.
Laying around.
That was actually an open and closed case. And I look forward to when Jack Smith can finally talk about it, when that judge, Eileen Cannon, actually lifts her order, which will be soon. And then we're going to find out a lot more about that. But then, of course, the overthrowing of the government thing, we all saw it with our own eyes on January 6th. You're going to have people, some of the MAGAs that pretend like it didn't happen, or it was the FBI, or it was Antifa. I'm not even going to really address it because, like, if you actually believe that, then, I mean, honestly, you probably believe the earth is flat. We never went to the moon. And I don't know. So Biden was an alien.
Honestly, I don't know if this guy just pretending that Donald Trump is coming after him or threatening him or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with him and Trump, but apparently they got some beef going on from his perspective. I don't know. But anyways, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in today, man. I'm done for the day, chat. I'm done. We covered a lot today, y'all. We covered TrumpRX. We covered a lot today. We will be back later on, chat. We'll be back later on when more updates come in. Right now, I'm not getting much updates coming in. Not much at all right now that we can cover. So we'll come back later on today with more news. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel. Thank you to everybody who hit the like button, man. Much love to y'all. Have a great Friday. Remember, the Super Bowl is Sunday. We will be having a watch party on Sunday for the Super Bowl. Make sure you show up 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure y'all show up for the watch party for the Super Bowl Sunday at those times. I hope you heard it, right? We'll be live possibly later on today or tomorrow. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being here, man. Much love to everybody. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. God bless you all. Regardless if we disagree, we all can still be kind to each other. It don't matter. So make sure y'all all have a good day and stay safe and stay out of trouble.